Still setting up, admittedly, which is, not the thing you always want to see whenever your streamer is doing things, is like, hey, they're still setting up the secondary stream. Let me turn the music a little more down. What are we doing now? SCP Research Unit. I've got to set it up real quick, though. It takes like a good 10 minutes to set up SCP Research Unit because I have to find the tier list, place everything back in the tier list, and then make sure I'm screen capturing correctly. Is this up to date? I don't know if this one's up to date. It may be. It takes a decent second. No worries. Yeah, that game ended a lot faster than I thought it would. I thought it would last me at least a solid 2 hours, and then I could figure something out from there, you know? But it was an hour-long game, which was not what I was expecting. I did enjoy it, though. I thought it was neat. It was unnerving in the right ways. Don't know if I felt like I knew the character, per se. Gosh darn. But I did think it was decent by the end of it. Okay. Yeah, because I have to set up the tier list again. I guess I can just show it as I do it. We can do... I don't think I hopefully don't have anything that'll be too privy to like my actual identity or something like that. This is what we're doing right now, so we just gotta set up the tier list again, as it normally is. The medic hazards. Remember that one, and the doorknobs suck. And then I typically zoom in to make it a little bigger. Then your identity revealed. I know, I've definitely shown off whatever I am to the public right now. Fully displayed. Okay, the unkillable lizard. The girl. Gotcha. Why do I have 2 images of this? Wait. Why do I have a second image of this? Can I remove it? I don't know what this is. 1 year, 10 days. Dang. Alright. It's been a good solid year and 10 days, hasn't it? Where is it? Where's that one? Okay, there's the library. Where's Ghost Chef? Hell yeah, we've been friends for a year. Solid year, solid year. And to many more. Raises like a... Not shot glass. Wine glass? Beer glass? Lager? I don't know if... I don't drink much, you know? The Bigfoots... okay. God, there's so many in A tier. I feel like I may overdo A tier a bit, and that may be because I set the standard for B tier so low. Or at least I've been bothering you for a year. No, we've been friends for a year. We've been friends for a year, jinx. Okay, you're right after this. There's the wall dude. Okay, there's you after that. I have to be reassured at every turn you know this. I'm fully aware. There's the Vatican monster. I do remember that. Weird egg in a jar, which is like a weird scientific formula. The envelope. I vaguely remember the envelope. Dr. Lightstone or whatever his name is. Exploding hot chocolate. The super bouncy rubber ball. Gosh. That. The Warhammer guy. The monkey's further down. Okay. So close. We're almost done. We're almost done. Do I remember where... Okay, wait, no, you're ahead of... You're right behind here. Oh, gosh. See, doing it slightly out of order messes me up so much, and I hate that. There's 999. There's Goop Boy. Then it becomes Lizard. Then it's Books. Books are scary. There's that dude. 499. So glad his number is plainly revealed. Wait, what? Oh no, did I mess it up? Wait. Oh no, I'm doing it right still. Right? 499, then it goes that, yeah. Then it's Weird Mind Guy, I do remember that. Mallow. This one has an extra one. This one goes immediately after this one, and the Island of Memories. Okay, there we go. So I think now, if I zoom in, it's typically a little better. Can I dismiss this? I don't want to see Affleck. Oh god. It's not present in the other ones. I don't know why. Can I full screen this? Maybe that's... How did I do this? Because there wasn't an ad last time I watched. Oh wait, is it presentation mode? Oh, dang it. It was. I didn't think that would destroy it, though. Oh, you're kidding me. No. That's so dumb. Oh my god. I hate that. I hate that so much. Alright. Okay, let's get through this as quick as we can. Just gonna try to... No, come on. There we go. Da-da. B tier. C tier is actually really much faster if I can find them quicker. Where's that one dude? Where's the dude for... Did I miss him? Oh no, there he is. It's a tragedy. I hate that I remembered that and it instantly ruined it. Okay. Where's the girl? There you are. Okay. B tier, let's put bouncy. I accidentally opened a new tab. Still not used to this new mouse I have. Well, it's an old mouse, but it's the one I'm using now instead of my old one. Because I could not figure out how to clean it, and it was getting really annoying because it double-clicked every time I used it. Soapstone statue. Where's the Warhammer? There you are. Tall guy who just kills everything is kind of boring. I remember that's why I put him down there. The magic orangutan, I hated that one. I do vividly remember that. Ash girl. I'm glad you got the new one. Yeah. It honestly makes things a lot easier for a bunch of different tasks now. I don't have to worry about double clicking in games. For a second, I thought it was honestly a tick I had. I was like, oh, why am I double clicking? And I'm like, am I having like a muscle twitch where I'm like double clicking every time I do something? Uh-oh, this man is streaming. Oh my gosh. Yeah, this man is streaming. What's up? How you doing, awesome guy? Hope you're having a lovely day. Welcome in. Dang. We better do SCP research unit if I can, not mess this up again. Also, happy Halloween cover and awesome. Yeah, happy Halloween. Okay. Is it just A tier now? It's just A tier now. A tier takes up a majority of the time because A tier is a lot of things that I think are really interesting. Again, I feel like I overpacked A tier a bit, but it may be that I got some really good ones, because I know there's some trash ones out there. I mean, we've been reading some of the trash ones, so it's not like there's a shortage of them, per se. 499, there's the chest. The fat people. That one. You know. Okay, we're almost done with this one. Mallow. Bar. Eyes. If anyone has a SCP recommendation, I will also say feel free to let me know, because more or less just reading, and whatever we read, we kind of rank. So, this stupid thing. There's this extra one that sucks. What's the 23rd? What's the 23rd? What do you mean? What's happening the 23rd? Fine. Or what's the 23rd SCP? Did I say something the 23rd? Yes. Okay, we can see. Let's do... Okay, so it'd be in one... So 23rd, we're looking at Black Shuck. I like this image already. This is Black Shuck. Alright, we got this lovely image in the background. So SCP 023. Crossed out. SCP-023 is to be contained in a standard 5x5mm containment unit. So SCP-23 is to be contained in a walled-off intersection of 2 corridors at site unknown, with at least 3 meters of space in each direction and false doors at 3 of the 4 ends. Oh, it's an intersection. Yeah, walled-off intersection. Which SCP are you, Carver? I do not know. You know, I could not tell you. They let me out of a cage, and I was like, I don't know what I am, and they're like, no, you're fine, just stay out here. So I guess I'm one of the ones that is, like, really unimportant, and they're like, nah, he's not a threat, it's just weird. It's like, that sucks. I don't know why you guys would say that to me. It's like, yeah, secure, contain, protect, and I was like, alright, fine. And then I walked out of the facility, and now I stream, and now that I guess they watch this. Actually, no, my parole SCP officer has not contacted me in years. I think he gave up. I think he realized I don't do anything. Except eat food, which is like... It's so rude. Why don't they protect me? Why don't they secure me? Why did they pay for my housing? It's so mean of them. Not a threat, but toes are now in danger because of them releasing you. No, they're not. They're not. God, something's in my eye. Why is it always whenever I stream, something gets in my eye? I'm actually gonna lose it. Do I just douse my hand in, like, rubbing alcohol or something every time? Okay, sorry. Let's get back into reading. In addition to the real door, 4 ends. And false doors at 3 of the 4 ends. So there is a real door. In addition to the real door, security cameras will be placed and maintained above all 4 doors. Okay. At all times, SCP-23's eye sockets are to be filled with spherical inserts made of hard rubber. I'm sorry, what? Maybe try keeping your eyes wide shut, then stuff won't get in them. You know what? You're right. I'll be blind for the rest of my life. Thanks for the advice. At all time, eye sockets are to be filled with spherical inserts made of hard rubber. Eye inserts must be replaced as they degrade. Degradation can be monitored by measuring the brightness of the burning effect as observed by the security footage. Brightness greater than 12 candela requires that the inserts be replaced within 12 hours. Eye inserts are only to be replaced individually and only after the sun has completely set. Personnel are not to look directly into the eye sockets of SCP-23 at any time. Following Incident 2327, all reflective surfaces, including displays, monitors, and eyewear of any sort, are not permitted within 30 meters of SCP-23's cell. This includes monitors linked to security cameras within its enclosures. Security personnel posted at checkpoints outside both corridors will enforce and adhere to this measure. Experimentation involving SCP-23 has been suspended indefinitely. 23 is a large, sexless, shaggy canine. Dang, alright. You didn't have to call him out like that, dude. With black fur. See Incident. It has bright orange, red eyes, and prominent teeth. What? Is this leading to stories? Okay, this leads to stories. Are we doing another story? Incident 23-7. We can read that in a second. So lame day. Alright, anytime an individual makes eye contact with SCP-23, either that person or a member of their immediate family will die exactly 1 year after eye contact is broken. Just imagine looking at it and, like, having to call your family and, like, hey, listen, Mom, Dad, I called up, I looked into the eyes of a wolf that I thought was my spirit animal, and it gets absolutely no sex. No sex whatsoever, but, as a result of its incel behavior, within a year, one of us is gonna die. And I don't know if it's me or you guys, so I just wanted to give you a heads up. 1 year? Yeah, 1 year. It's a shame it can't get any. Research into the method of selection is incomplete due to a moratorium on experiments, but the available data suggests that having a larger immediate family lessens the chance of the individual making eye contact themselves dying. Yeah, what? Yeah, that makes sense. What do you mean? It makes one of the immediate family. If you have more immediate family, it's less of a chance. Yeah, that's just how stats work, dude. Incel behavior is crazy, Dio. Jinx, you are really getting leverage out of this Dio, aren't you? But did you see the new, well, at least they, not like the new, but they announced it, the new, peak update? Let's see. Neither, eye contact of the individual themselves dying, and neither a pattern nor a preference in victim types have been found. This may indicate that SCP-23's victim is designated entirely at random, but it's unknown whether this selection occurs at the beginning or at the end of the 1 year time period. Attempts to terminate the individual who has made eye contact with SCP-23 and their entire immediate family before 1 year time period has ended. Data expunged. Interesting. Autopsies of individuals killed by SCP-23's effect show that, while outwardly appearing unharmed, their remains have been filled in with highly compacted ash, including but not limited to all organ systems and the circulatory system, muscle tissues, bones, and brain tissues. Universally show signs of exposure to temperatures above blank C. Gross. What do you mean above blank Celsius? We use Fahrenheit here. If not contained in setting that at least superficially resembles crossroads, SCP-23 will phase through walls to get to the nearest suitable location, incinerating all material it passes through. Okay, so it needs a crossroad. SCP-23 was first brought to the Foundation's attention when it attacked a church in blank while it was in session, killing blank civilians directly and redacted as a result of eye contact. Following the retrieval of SCP-23, Class B amnestics were administered to all witnesses and surviving victims. The incident was covered up as a case of arson. Addendum 23-1. SCP broke containment on blank by passing through its cell wall. Was later discovered at the intersection of 2 corridors elsewhere on site. Blank Agent Blank noted SCP-23's similarity to imagine living a country support has to use Celsius. Truly. Listen. If you want to get rich in the world, you use Fahrenheit in the imperial system. Like true God-fearing Americans. Similar special containment procedures for SCP-23 updated. Assistant Researcher Blank issued a reprimand for negligence. Addendum 23-2. SCP-23 has been responsible for the deaths of blank personnel and blank civilians since it was first brought into containment on 10/20/12 something 94. Request for classification to Keter pending. Due to both anomalies focusing on specific geographic spaces, their destructive capabilities and canine appearance, it is possible that SCP-111-1 may be a variant of the same phenomenon observed in SCP-23, or vice versa. Investigation of the origin of both anomalies is ongoing due to the inability to capture SCP-111 for study, or 1111 1 for studies. Investigations are currently focused on SCP-23. And then the incident report involving the data expunge site. Timeline of events. A pair of glass eye walls are inserted into the eye sockets of SCP-23 by 2 D-class personnel. Glass eyes take on an orange-red glow similar to what SCP-23's real eyes look like before removal. Molten glass begins to run out of the SCP-23's eye sockets. Data expunged appear on all lenses, windows, mirrors, monitors, and glass surfaces that blink. Evacuation of site blank ordered. Sun visible over horizon. D-class personnel sent in to check area around 23's enclosure. Blank gone. Only traces of SCP-23 is a burnt section of floor around a puddle of colored glass. Personal log, Dr. Blank. Date blank. It is my fault. I've doomed my research team and possibly the rest of the facility. All that's left is to keep trying. We must contain 23. 1 year after SCP-2327, or Incident 2327, Blank personnel were interred on an unmarked mass grave outside Site Blank. So what did it do? Okay. Oh, so... So I'm assuming the reflection of the eye, like the glass, kind of shines, maybe disco ball-esque, into all the monitors and stuff like that. So it just kills them all. So wait, does the person who... How does it work if you're monitoring this thing? Like, do they just use D-class personnel to monitor it? And they're, like, they always have a year? I want to say B tier. I want to say B tier? I like the concept. Oh my gosh, don't. Let me see. We put him in... We put him in here. Oh, this is not gonna... Wait, let me move this so you guys don't see. There's nothing, like, specifically here, I don't think, that is telling about me. But I would rather you guys not see that specific part. It's nothing personal. You guys just don't need it. Why does it keep doing that? Why is my... I'm right-clicking. Let's put it in high B tier. It's just a creature that has, like, the pedant stare from, what's his name? Ghost Rider. Alright, so 23 goes high B tier. It's a unique idea that it has to stand at a crossroad, but I have no idea why it needs to stand at a crossroad to do that, per se. Let me see. Where did I write? Okay, there it is. I write both, so I can kind of remember. 23. Ghost Rider Dog. Kill Baby. Why is... Did I not update it? One of these is called Pill Baby, and I don't think it's this one. Is the envelope supposed to be Pill Baby? I don't think I updated this part of it last time. I have the numbers. I should at least for here. 189. All right, so 23 189621. Wait, this is Pill Baby? 5073. 5073 is hot. What the Why is this one Pill Baby? I don't think this one's supposed to be Pill Baby. I can find out later. Okay, let's find another target. So 23 is one we read. What do we have? See, I got this list of things. I guess we read another famous one, 93. So I guess we're hitting all the threes today. Alright, 93, Red Sea Object. Here, let's see. SCP-093. What am I gonna get? I'm always nervous looking up the images because I remember I've seen this image before. I think this specific image of it. Where's the open image in a new tab? Can I just open the image in a new tab? Okay, there we go. There we go. Yeah, this one feels very familiar. Okay, there's more than one of them because there's a bunch behind it. How long is this one? This one isn't... Oh, wait. Oh, this one has a lot of stuff to it. Okay. SCP-093, which is called the Red Sea object or something like that. Sea testing document. SCP-093-T1 for outline of testing conditions. SCP-093 must remain on a mirror at all times and under video surveillance. Admittance into the area of SCP-093's containment must be authorized only with proper video recording and subject retrieval procedures in place. Any attempt to use SCP-093 outside of an approved test will be dealt with severely up to and including termination. I'm assuming that's firing, or is that killing you termination? Up to you know, your manager's discretion, I'm assuming. SCP-093 is primarily red disc carved from a stone composite resembling cinnabar. I'm sorry, that is not at all what I'm looking at. Are we sure this... I mean, like, this is more accurate to what it actually is. I'm assuming this is something it can become. Let's hold this image here, I guess, though, for now. With circular engravings and unknown symbols carved at 0.5 centimeters depth around the entire object. Deeper cuts are present on SCP-093 with a depth to 1 to 1.5 centimeters. SCP-093 is 7.62 centimeters in diameter and fits comfortably into the palms without abrasion. Without abrasion? Like, I know what abrasion means, but why without abrasion? Like, you're not roughing on your skin? SCP-093 will change hue when held by living individuals. The colors taken by SCP-093 are still being researched to establish a link. Current belief holds that the changes depend upon regrets carried by the holder. Interesting. Okay, if SCP-093 is removed from a mirror and not held by a person, it will seek out the nearest mirror, like 7.62 millimeters in diameter. Is that not a bullet size? Let me see. Let's see if there's an example. We'll do 8 centimeters in diameter. Represent. No, I'm not. Oh my gosh. What does that look like? All right. Is there something that is 8 centimeters? Object 8 centimeters in diameter. I'm gonna. I feel like that's. Wait, what is, okay. What is 8 centimeters to... I guess I can... Okay, it's 3.1 inches. Okay, it's not... If you look up the diameter of a 7.62 bullet, that would be a huge bullet. Okay, it's 3.15 inches. I don't think it's... It may be the length of this. If that's... It's the length of this, I'm assuming. Right? But, okay. An easy way to look at least 3 inches is, like, you use your middle finger and count the knuckles. And so your knuckles... So, like, the length of your middle finger and a little more, yeah, is the length, not diameter. Yeah, I was like 7.62 in diameter is a huge... That's a shell. That's a shell, not a bullet at that point. But yeah, if you use your middle finger, it should be around that length, right? Unless you have like super long gangly fingers, but yeah, your middle finger is roughly what we're looking at. In diameter, at least. Interesting, that's a rather small object. That would fit in your palm. Quite handedly, honestly. It might sit a little larger in your palm. Okay. SCP-093 is removed from a mirror and not held by a person. It will seek out the nearest mirror-like surface. 093 has been observed to travel in the largest possible circle while rolling, building up phenomenal speed. Okay, so it actively targets that. and it moves on its own. The mechanism of this acceleration is currently unknown. If an obstacle is between 093 and the nearest mirror-like object, it will use the momentum to punch through the obstacle and continue on its course at this speed. It will only stop when a mirror-like surface is contacted. Despite tremendous impact velocities, no damage will be dealt to SCP-093 or the mirror. No records exist to clarify the nature of 093's discovery or the presence in the Foundation. 093-OD, since no records exist, explaining 093's method of containment. A test procedure was initiated to establish why mirrors must be used to contain it. The result of SCP-093-T1 led to the discovery of living beings holding SCP-093 being able to move through mirrors. Okay, anyone who holds it can move through mirrors, and the series of tests in 093-T2 to ascertain the destination reached through this travel. So, the original documentation. It is a Euclid. Item is to be kept on a silver-lined mirror at the ground in containment cell. Object is not to be contained in areas exceeding base, nor placed on mahogany, pine, cherry, or aluminum pedestals above or below level 1 of containment cell block. Object can be held safely, albeit gently, without consequences. Testing consequences thereof involving containment conditions can be viewed in section B35-1 of the attached report. Object was found on the shore of the Red Sea. Okay, so that's why it's called Red Sea Object. 30th of January, 1968. I was trying to immediately be like, is this World War II related? And I'm like, no, that would... Wait, when was it? Was that the end of the Cold War? No, the Cold War ended in the 80s, right? When did Cold War end? 91. Okay, never mind. It ended in the 90s, dang. I didn't think that was that. Alright, so much earlier than that. What was significant amount? What happened in 1968? The Tet Offensive, the assassination of JFK and RFK, the Vietnam War, and protests. Alright, that's crazy. Alright, I don't know. None of those seem particularly related. I don't think this thing appeared because Martin Luther King was assassinated. I'm going on a limb there, though. Object was found on the shore of the Red Sea, emitting a low sigh, and a dim blue gleam. Its color has since turned into an orange mix of red only, emitting a hum of varying volume whilst in the presence of female examiners of ages between 34 and 41. SCP-093 resembled the documented blue for 54 to 34 at 1:23 on 26th of April 1968, coincidentally when the body of 1949834 was discovered in research facility. It hums only when the presence of women? Okay, what is with this? Ties between 194 and 9834 in SCP-093 remain inconclusive, and therefore an effects of prolonged exposure to 093 remain unknown, except for infrequent reports of periods of calmness, and in the case of 242-0049, as periodic waves of depression, loss of balance, and thoughts of suicide. These feelings have reportedly not exceeded 11 days in duration. Objects seem to react to the presence of 242-0056 by turning light violet for no more than 2:09. Or 2 minutes and 9 seconds? Okay, those are minutes. Okay. As documented on 12th of March 1993, effects of this reaction remain unknown. Additional notes. Origins of 093 remain unknown, and documents of recovery of 093 have been destroyed in a fire of research facility blank 09, December 1989. Reports on the feelings of researchers who handled 093 have remained inconsequential since 19th of April 1995. Containment tests. Testing of SCP-093 against conditions set forth for existing containment procedures to assess the viability of continuing such containment, beginning with changing the type of mirror used as position of rest. Mirrored surface, brass frame, retail grade mirror. 093, rest without activity when placed on the mirror. This test alone removes the need for costly silver on wooden containment systems. I'm sorry, you're telling me the facility has problem acquiring silver? Hey Carver, do you want a Hertz donut? I kind of want a Hertz donut. See, I know what you're like, Hertz donut, but like there's a place not near me, but like 30 minutes from me called Hertz Donuts, and they're pretty good, actually. So every time someone says that, I'm like, yeah, but I know an actual place named Hertz Donut. They're open 24/7. Yeah, we have one here too. Nice, nice. They're good. They're good. I have a hard time believing with everything that the facility has, they cannot just mass produce silver. Like there's got to be a philosopher's stone or something they have. You're telling me they can't make a silver mirror? They're like, it's how much is a cheap silver mirror? Let's see. How much is a cheap silver mirror? I can find some for $40. Real silver. $500. Webster, $130. You're telling me the SCP containment procedures cannot shell out like $100 to $400 for a real silver mirror? God, it's so costly. Standard grade table. SCP-093 turns upright and begins to roll across the table surface in one direction, making a U-turn and rolling to the other, completing an oval shape and repeating this action until a mirror is brought into its vicinity of it, at which time SCP-093 rolls towards the mirror and lays flatways against it, sliding toward the center. It is noted that despite the grainy feel of SCP-093, it does not mark the mirror in any fashion while moving across it. Two mirrors at the end of a standard grade table. 093 gravitates towards the closer mirror regardless of orientation and makes no distinction between the different mirrors, favoring a factor of distance above all else in choosing the mirror to move to. A mirror held by a person and moved around. SCP-093 follows the mirror as it moves, gaining speed until the maximum velocity of blink is reached. At any velocity, the impact of 093 against a mirrored surface results in no damage to either object. Person holding SCP-093 placing it on a mirror. This test was accidental, the results of one of the staff tripping another after some debate about who would be covering the lunch tab. Oh my god, you're kidding. See, it's things like this that make me concerned that humanity is being protected by people this dumb. As a result of the behavior of the researchers, it was discovered that a person holding SCP-093 and placing it against a mirror will in fact move into the mirror. Containment testing discontinued after establishing that SCP-093 requires only a mirror to rest inert. Testing on human interaction with mirrors while holding SCP authorized by Dr. Blank. SCP-093-T2 Mirror Test. Subjects testing 093 must wear a Class 3 buckle harness strapped to the chest and attached to a tension pulley system, allowing for 300 meters or 100 feet of movement. Additional spools may be added to extend movement if necessary. The clasp connecting these spools must be high grade, capable of withstanding applied forces of 0.2 tons. That isn't a measurement of force. It'd be tons squared, right? Right? Force. Newton. Yeah, it'd be newtons, or like... Yeah, so you couldn't just do tons. Okay, tons is the imperial measurement of force. Is it the... Wait, okay. I don't think it is. Is it? It'd be like ton. I mean, I'm not doubting like it's tons something, but it'd be like tons per square inch. LBBS. Would it just be like a... kilograms per meter squared? If you did pounds, feet squared. 1 ILBF. I think it adds something, because pounds is the force of a gravity on an object. Maybe. I swear it's different. I swear I'm smarter than I think I am. A field kit containing the following should be standard issue for testing SCP-093. 1 wrist-mounted light source with 3 hours of lifespan and additional power sources, providing up to 6 additional hours. Trust me, LBSF is just pounds. Maybe. Do you work with force? Do you work with physics at all, my friend? Again, there's flashlights that easily last longer than 3 hours. You've got to be kidding me that the SCP research facilities do not have the resources to purchase long-lasting flashlights. I'm a physics and math teacher. Oh, okay. Dang, I didn't know that. Nice, nice. Alright, I'll take your word for it. I guess I can take your word for it. 4.5 liter water bottles with water. Again, I guess having individual with a mechanical engineering. Dang, alright. Way to flex. 4 MREs of any type, plus 2 plain granola bars. Chocolate chips allowed. That is not a plain granola bar then, right? 1 standard issue Beretta 9mm firearm with 24 rounds of ammunition loaded. This is not to be issued until subject has passed into the mirror using SCP-093 and should be given under armed supervision, ensuring that the subject passes through entirely. This item is to be requisitioned first upon subject's return, and subject to be made aware of this before leaving line of sight with SCP-093's mirror. 1 standard issue field knife. The subject is not to be made aware of this item and must find it on his own within the kit. Oh, is that to cut the line? The subject must be attached to a video system with a camera mounted on the subject's head. He's got to wear a GoPro, dude. The video device should be cable-based and allow for the same length of travel as the return system. Wireless cameras have shown mixed results and should only be used in testing conditions, where SCP-093 is a currently no color. New colors must be tested using wired feed. During testing, the color of SCP must be recorded, as well as history of the subject in terms of their incarnation to identify how 093 determines the color to assume. A link appears to be connected to guilt or lack thereof in the subject's psyche. Test results should be read in order. Alright, so let's look at blue first. Oh god, this is a lot. Subject is D20384. Male, 34 years of age, strong physique. Subject's background shows instance of murder, attempted suicide. Subject is cooperative in all steps of testing. Subject entered the provided mirror while holding SCP-093, which emitted a blue color. Outside, the technicians observed the mirror retained a true reflection until subject had completely passed into it, at which time the view changed to an outdoor landscape heavily tinged in blue. Video feed follows in attached media. Camera activities flickers to view. Subject is looking out over the same field reported by technicians. Looks like typical lowland plains. Everything has a heavy blue tinge overlapping the normal colors. No discernible landmarks visible as subject pans view left to right. Oh my gosh. Only grass, weeds, and a breeze moving the taller grass. No trees, no living beings visible. Subject moves forward as instructed, traveling for approximately 500 steps before something becomes visible. A patch of the land up ahead is barren, and grass can be seen dying as subject approaches. Approximately 300 steps forward, subject is standing before a hole in the ground, and the hole has been dug using unknown tools of primitive origin. Pulley system engaged and the camera suffers a light shudder. Subject is instructed to enter the hole and after mild protesting agrees to do so. There is no apparent method of descent such as a ladder or rope. Subject relies entirely on his own hands and the pulley system to slow the descent. Subject 100 meters of cable is used before a bottom is reached. Light source provided and field kit activated 50 meters down when outside sources become unreliable. Sweeping gestures of the light reveal nothing more than dirt even at the bottom of the hole. Subject moves forward with the assistance of light source. Asked about the blue tinge, subject expresses confusion and says there is no such tinge from his perspective. It never was. Light is visible down the passage and 150 meters of cable has been used. Out of the camera's eyes, sound is recorded of the firearm being prepared. When questioned about these actions, subject states justified precaution and moves forward. The tunnel turns from bare dirt to concrete enclosure. Subject complains of a stench. The light source is revealed to be a ceiling light fixture, a series of which with less than a quarter broken while the others function. A series of 6 doors, 3 to the side, span before the camera view with the 7th door visible at the end of the corridor that has been blocked by what looks like generic metal shelving debris. Debris shows signs of rusting and is typical of retail store units, suggesting other human presences? Subject requested to try doors in whatever order he chooses. Subject tries first door on right, door is locked, does not open. Second door tries to open but does not budge, unlocked but blocked. Closing second door. Third door is tried, same results as first. Going up the other side, the third door does open fully, and light is bright in the room. Potable light switched off at this time as subject pans camera to inspect room. Room is bare, no contents, but walls are filthy. Subject states material on the walls isn't dirt, but he can't identify it. Seems to resemble melted plastic, but is brown in color rather than black. Door is closed. Second door on left side has no handle, does not move when pushed. The hole where the handle was is plugged by unknown material. All doors are shaped in such a way that nothing can visibly escape from the sides and space for movement is too thin to look through even at the ground level. First door on left hand is locked, but part of key is present in lock from stem to the ridges. The back has been broken off. With effort, subject manipulates key to open door and immediately begins coughing, complaining of stench. Walls of the room are clean as is floor. Ceiling is coated in the same strange brown material as the third room. In this room, there is a makeshift cot made from aged blankets with a pillow, a wooden crate containing open boxes of what appears to have been foodstuffs. Language appears on a video as squiggles, however, subject states they simply read cereal. A second crate in the room contains what appears to be empty water bottles that have dried out. A book lies next to the cot, closed, no title or identifying marks. On the wall are what appear to be clipped articles, but language cannot be read. Subject asked to remove clippings for retrieval. All articles but one crumble as the touch due to age. The intact article is put in a field sample container and seems to be the most recent compared to the others. Asked to investigate the book, subject begins to move toward it. Audio on the tape goes strange and a high-pitched screeching noise like grinding metal dominates all communication for 3.5 seconds. Subject has not touched the book still, and when the noise stops, subject asks Control to repeat request. Control made no request during that time as headsets were removed. Subject advised to leave room and notes that the door has begun closing slowly on its own and, if left alone, will close. Subject advised to leave the door alone and to investigate door on right. Careful review of the following 10 seconds of tape shows that as the camera pans, a figure is visible at the end of the tunnel where the 7th door is. The door is open only enough for a face to be seen through, a crack just before the door slightly closes. No details can be seen. Subject investigates the second door on the right with no mention of anything seen out of the ordinary. The door moves when pushed against, and after repeated bashings, moves enough to view inside. Okay, wait, so the second door on the right is the one that was blocked, right? Where does it say that? Second door tries, but does not budge. Unlocked, but blocked, yeah. Okay. On the right, with no mention, seems out of the ordinary. Wait, that isn't. Careful review. Subject investigates the door against after a repeated bash, moves enough to view inside at an angle. A corkboard is visible with more articles attached to it. The top of a box of cereal can be seen on the floor, and what appears to be a hand lying palm up. Subject closes door and pans camera past door 7, which remains closed, seeing nowhere else to explore. Subject requested to return. Subject poses no protest and complains of ever-increasing stench. As subject returns back down tunnel, his camera feed does not change or show anomaly, but control reports a sudden surge in cable movement, pulling an additional 100 meters of cable through before going slack again and then tightening. Video feed shows subject ascending tunnel slowly while control attempts to verify integrity of the pulley system. Subject requested to stop ascent, but states he is not climbing. The rope is pulling him up. Panic sets in on both sides, and subject informed to ready firearm. Upon reaching top of the hole, nothing is visible on the camera, and subject reports nothing has changed in landscape. Then begins a return trip following the cable. Traveling for approximately 900 steps, subject asks how much cable he has used. Control admits they are unsure due to complications, but subject traveled in a straight line to reach the hole, so it should be a straight line back. Subject becomes concerned when he states that more cable is visible now, moving in a 90-degree angle away from a point in the ground. Subject pans camera around full circle slowly. On film behind subject, a crowd of 37 countable figures stand silently. Features are unidentifiable, and they are lacking the blue tinge that dominates the landscape. Panic breaks in control again, but subject notes only oddity as being the cable having an angled path. Subject tugs his end of the cable. It is taut and does not move. Control begins to reel in the pulley system, and slack rapidly winds. Watching the angled cable movement can be seen as grass is disturbed further down the angled portion from the reeling, and then the line vibrates as it meets resistance and emits a twang from recoil. Subject's camera pans back a long length of cable, which now appears to be slowly allowing more slack before suddenly all slackers return and pulley system begins again. Control requests subject return following cable path, and screams are caught on the audio with panic from subject. 5 shots fired as subject aims pistol at something not visible on camera. Control reports being able to see subject returning towards point of origin, while camera shows wire disappearing into a point floating in the air. As subject passes the point, all the cable is now in the pulley system, and the camera films only the floor. Control reports that the mirror took approximately 5 seconds to return to a reflection, and SCP-093 remained blue in color until 1 hour after being recovered from subject. A vile-smelling fluid was present on subject's clothes around his hand when firearm was recovered. This fluid dried quickly and was deemed insignificant of study due to lack of quality sample. Control personnel monitored the mirror state, having seen a massive humanoid being crawling on the ground, easily 50 times the size of a normal person with no facial features and a very short arm reach, pulling itself toward the mirror before it returned to a reflection. Due to proximity, fine details could not be made out, but at least one observer noted that the being appeared to have been shot from the marks in the otherwise smooth, featureless face. Field test recovered from subject containing a newspaper article that reads data expunged and was filed as item data expunged. That's unfortunate. We don't get to see what they actually recovered. God, this is a lot for it. Enjoying my drink real quick. It is interesting though. I do like it. Very creepy. Okay. D54493, female, 23 years of age, average physique. Subject's background shows instance of Grand Theft Auto and second-degree murder of 2 children during escape with a vehicle. Subject is cooperative in all steps of testing. Subject entered the provided mirror while holding 093, which emitted a green color. Site technicians observed that the mirror retained its true reflection until subject had completely passed into it, at which time the view changed to a farming landscape, heavily tinged in green, similar to the first test. Video feed follows in attached media. I wonder, is there like of the different colors? I hope I don't run into something I'm not gonna like see. This seems like accurate to that. But this seems to be like the grand theme of it is these half humanoid things. A shame we don't see the actual, like, half. Okay. Camera activates, flickers to view. Subject is looking out over the same farmland reported by technicians. All greens through video feed are deeper in green tinge overlays the normal colors of objects similar to the blue tinge in test 1. No landmarks from test 1 are discernible as subject pans camera over area. Present is a field long abandoned in the middle of which stands the remains of a scarecrow, unknown design. Fragments left are rotted and torn. Nothing grows in the tilled land. A farmhouse is visible to the right of the field. Large 2 stories, a basement, shelter entrance is visible at one end. Subject prepares her sidearm immediately and is asked by control to relax before proceeding, her heavy breathing dominating the audio feed. Subject takes a few minutes and announces that she's fine, then proceeds as directed and walks the perimeter of the farmhouse. So I'm assuming this is what the image is, because what follows. Children's bicycles. 2. Boys and girls lie against the house near the shelter's door. One of the doors to the shelter lies in the grass, torn from the entrance, as evidenced by splintering wood. On the stairs lie clothes arranged in a descending order, shoes to shirt going down them, belonging to a boy. Subject begins screaming at Control, asking if this is some sort of sick joke. What do you mean? You passed through a mirror. It's not like they set this up as a prank for you. Control assures her they have never seen this environment either, and to please calm down. Subject takes several minutes to regain herself before continuing. It is unknown if SCP-093 is linking the subject's past with her landscape. Okay, so I'm assuming with a bent bike, it's the kids she hit were riding bicycles or something like that. After several minutes, subject agrees to continue. Communication to subject is muted, and conversation to Control making commentary about subject's jittery attitude make up audio for 1.5 minutes. Communication restored as subject reaches bottom of stairs. The cellar of the farmhouse is unremarkable and typical. Several wooden shelves line the far wall containing unidentified canned substances. Broken light fixtures sway gently from support beams. Camera is panned across the basement slowly. No evidence of footprints are visible, and the basement can be assumed to have been abandoned for some time. Subject begins to comment about a stench. The subject pans the area, and metal hatches visible in the ground, similar to a bulkhead on a submarine with a turn handle. Subject... So it's just a normal metal hatch? I guess the submarine is more for people, I guess, imagery's sake, but that's what a normal bulkhead door looks like, right? The handle of the hatch is old and the paint chipped. Subject coerced into turning the handle, which when fully opened... Sorry, I lost my... Fully opened... Where did I stop? I looked down at something. Which, when fully turned, opens the hatch. Subject begins coughing at the release of assumed old stale air. When camera is tilted to view down the hatch, it is a white concrete tunnel, similar to one found in the Blue experiment, but in much better condition. Subject asked to descend ladder and close hatch behind her. Why would you want her to close the hatch? I guess, like, there's a point of, like, things might be behind you, but also a point of, like, hey, if she has to open this up while down there and she's weak, you're basically killing her. After some convincing, subject agrees to descend, but does not close the hatch, overlooking concerns about severing the pulley return system. In doing so are acknowledged. Descent down the ladder and trip to the farmhouse has consumed approximately 53 meters of cable when bottom is reached. The inside of the hatch appears to be a bunker ill-suited to long-term usage. It is spacious, about half the size of the actual cellar itself, containing 3 bunks, 1 for a couple and 2 for single use. Several boxes of food, similar to those found during Blue marked as cereal, fill a waste container near the hatch. Bottom. On the beds are 2 skeletons, and on the floor is a third, lying next to which is simple 6-shooter revolver containing no ammunition. 3 spent casings are across the floor near the gun. On the other side of the skeleton is a bound book in good condition. This is retrieved and placed in a field kit container upon request. The gun is left alone per request from Control. Subject examines more of the bunker, focusing on a desk where a newspaper has been cut and in good condition. The clipped articles are recovered using a field kit container, little else of interest to be brought back in the bunker as the camera is panned around. Trash bags containing clothing and a few children's toys resembling popular 1950s era products are lined against the wall. Subject is requested to leave the bunker and then sharply asked to wait by control technician, who directs the camera view to an area near the exiting doorway to the hatch. Closer inspection as the subject moves in finds that a small area has been fitted with what appears to be an Ethernet jack. Interesting. The cover of which has been forced slightly away from the wall by a strange amber-like substance. Subject refuses to touch or collect a sample, commenting that it stinks so bad that if they want it, they can come get it themselves. Control declines, and subject leaves bunker. As subject grips ladder to leave, the camera pans for a moment, and at the top of the tunnel, a humanoid figure is seen peering down. Control as subject to confirm. Figure subject states nothing is up there. Begins to climb. Figure draws out of the camera view after first rung. Is touched by a subject who ascends without incident. At the top of the tunnel, no other life is seen, and nothing has been disturbed. Subjects insist nothing was there, closes the hatch, then immediately vomits. Subject coughs and uses a supplied water bottle to gargle, then freezes and asks Control is hearing that. Control reports no audio. Subject approaches cellar hatch cautiously with firearm drawn and lifts her head just enough so camera can view outside the area. In the distance, approximately 700 meters from the farm, two massive humanoid beings are crawling across the landscape. The entities do not notice the subject, who remains quiet, but whose drawn sidearm is visibly trembling. Subject requested to remain still and silent as beings move. They are featureless, facing at an angle, moving across the field of vision, so the faces are only visible for a few moments. During this time, it is clear they have no facial features. The arms they use to drag themselves are short at times and long at others. Okay, so weird hand proportions. There's no rear area to the being. All bodily design appears to end at the torso. The creatures take approximately 10 minutes to disappear into the distance before the subject begins to panic and begins to return. Request declined. Subject and begs to return. Subject instructed to enter the home from the cellar and not to leave the home under any circumstances. The first floor is entered through a hatch in the ceiling floor and opens with a rusty creaks. That cause subject to pause for 37 seconds before continuing upward and entering a kitchen. A heavy layer of dust coats all items in the kitchen. The refrigerator is left open, all food is spoiled. Adjacent to the kitchen is a living area. Now the subject enters slowly. There is a recliner, a couch, and a television, all of 1950s style design. The recliner is a laptop whose case also resembles 1950s decor and is coated in heavy dust. Opening the laptop reveals the last moments of its operating system, Faithful OS, leaving a standby mode and immediately shutting off. Laptop has no external power source and will not power back on. When asked to recover laptop, it brings the cushion of the recliner with it. Interesting. The two stuck together. Subject advised to leave the laptop where it is. No, what? I'd take both. Listen, the laptop seems like it could be incredibly useful. The inside door leaving the home is nailed shut with thick wood planks. No attempt is made to interact with these. Camera view pans to staircase leading upstairs. Subject ascends the stairs without being asked, and the stairs remain silent to control surprise. When subject reaches the top of the stairs, a hallway with two doors is viewed. One on each side, and at the end of the hall is a dumbwaiter is inlaid into the wall. Subject opens a door on the left on her own, which opens to a master bedroom. The bed is neatly made, the wardrobe next to it is thrown open, and clothes are everywhere on the floor. Subject finds laid out on the bed several pieces of jewelry and is informed to leave them. Subject begins to protest, then comments they stink and leave them alone, promptly leaving the room. Subject asks to open second door. The second door opens and gives a view of a shared children's bedroom. Obviously boy and girl, given the types of toys and clothes scattered on the floor. There is also a window which subject approaches and wipes with a curtain to clear dust. Subject is requested to move camera to window and does so. The farmland is visible and approximately 40 kilometers from it at best guessed, a city. As the camera starts to draw back, it pans down and films the area around the house. Approximately 300 figures, similar to those from the footage captured during Blue Test, are visible around the home, all staring out. Subject asked to confirm figures, but states nothing is there. Subject requested to return and quickly agrees. Egress from the house is uneventful. Pulley system shows no erratic behavior as subject turns to point of pulley wire's origin. A loud groaning noise causes the picture to reverberate, and technicians at control report they were also able to hear the noise and embrace the vibration, or experience the vibration. Subject returns through point of origin without investigation. A mirror returns to reflective surface. 093, relinquished video ends. Return newspaper fragment filed as blank. I can't see that, so... It gets long. This is a lot of test. Subject D8 or 930, male, 21 years of age, average physique. Subject background shows instance of second-degree murder of a police officer during a drug bust. Normally this crime, while severe, would not qualify a person for a sentence that would end up with us, but the murder of the officer was especially brutal and excessive violence was used. The subject was uncooperative and had to be reminded that his cooperation would only benefit him. Subject entered the provided mirror while holding SCP-093, which emitted a violet color. Outside, the technicians observed that the mirror retained in air a true reflection until subject had completely passed into it. At which point, time the change to a cityscape, urban, lightly tinged in purple. Similar to the first test, video feed follows an attachment. Old man Carver. Yawning. It's only 6 o'clock. God dang it. Camera flickers to life and pans around the area. Subject is in what appears to be modern downtown district to a city like New York. The streets are... Can I zoom in? I should zoom in to this, shouldn't I? Don't think it really adds much in terms of size. Camera flickers to life and pans around the area. These cars look highly advanced and streamlined. Subject attempts to look into the car windows without being instructed to back away, remarking there is a rank stank coming from the areas around most of them. Subject is persuaded to move closer to one car and does so with coughing, wiping off a window which is covered in dust. The inside of the car appears to be filled with a strange brown matter. There's nothing at all visible until the brown matter. Or other than the brown matter. God. I skipped like one word and it changes the meaning. It's not like I skipped those or like nonsensical or like easy to miss words. I skipped important words that add so much context to like things. It's a little stupid. Not gonna lie, I feel a little stupid every time I do it. 2 other cars produce the same results. However, 4th vehicle seems more recent and the others and the insides are immaculate. The doors to this vehicle are also unlocked and subject quickly gets inside then shuts the door. Subject is chastised for this behavior by Control, who reminds him his lifeline is nothing more than a cable, which is sturdy enough that closing the car door does not injure it, but they cannot recover a person in motion. Subject argues with Control over this issue and pans the camera across the dashboard, pointing out he couldn't drive away even if he tried. The dashboard is void of any recognizable controls, no ignition, no steering. It has several blank screens that are theorized to be a GPS system. Subject remains in the car while Control discusses how to proceed since the city landscape is far larger than the previous test destinations. Control debates the issue that while Subject stares around the city from the car during one pan, a face is clearly seen staring into the car, eyes watching the Subject. However, this has not noticed until test footage review. Subject made no comment regarding this entity at any point. Control shortly after informed Subject to remain where he is, and an escort team is dispatched through the mirror to join him. A team of 4 armed personnel is sent through the mirror and proceeds to Subject's location. Subject is then instructed to remove his harness, which is recovered. This Subject's video feed then ends and is replaced by a wireless unit sending the escort. The video quality on this unit is subject to more inference, but in order to mark the mirror, exit
A receiver system is placed through the mirror. Interesting. Subject leaves the car and travels with the escort team. Given the myriad of possible options, they are instructed to simply move to the closest building and attempt to enter it. The building has etched glass doors bearing the name XEA Research Partners, Inc. And the doors are ajar. A magnetic lock system is present, but has lost power. A team enters the building and main lobby. The area resembles a stereotypical corporate lobby. There is a C-shaped receptionist desk with a chair pushed far from it as if it was in a hurry. A PC terminal is at the desk as well and approaches the desk and the camera bearer. The film guy. Camera bearer seems a bit weird. Is instructed to examine the PC. The unit does appear to have power and Faithful OS appears on the screen requesting a login password. A keyboard is present, but is remarkably slim with touch-sensitive keys rather than press-down keys. After one failed attempt to lock screen... To unlock or to lock screen? Lock screen implies that maximum attempts have been exceeded and the PC turns off. No actual tower or power button can be located. So team moves forward. Really? Just that easily after that? You're not going to take the shut-off laptop? Because what if it can't be turned on? Like, a little bit. By the receptionist desk are two elevators, one to the left and one to the right, with the similar touch-sense keys. The elevator on the left is broken, and the door and the shaft empty. The elevator on the right appears functional and has power. Without a clear designation, the team is instructed to proceed to the highest floor to get a lay of the city. All floors appear to be accessible, with the highest being 114, in reality 112 as 13, and 113 are missing from the keyboard. Okay, so yeah, so they follow the typical building stigmas, where it's like you can't build a 13th floor. Is that standard in hotels where you don't have a 13th room? Because I know it's 13 is like the huge superstitious number. Ooh, excuse me. Regardless of what you do, but like, is it a hotel thing too? I wonder like how many things that have like 13 related to them. Just skip it. There are many couches with dust on them. A widescreen, apparently LCD TV of approximately 60 inches in size dominates the wall in front of them with no power. A series of windows are open, allowing in sunlight at the far end, to which the team proceeds and angles the camera outside. The view of the city is astounding. This building is one of the tallest visible, but certainly not alone in stature. The city below is gray and silent, no evidence of life at this altitude. Some buildings in the city have a strange brown growth that appears to have been splashed against them, as if a gelatinous mass was flung and then seeped down before hardening. Other buildings have floors where the glass has been shattered and the same brown substance is seeping out the edges. One member of the team calls the camera bearer to the windows of the other side. From the other side of the building, the city edges can be seen. Attention is pointed towards an expressway that encircles the city, upon which crawls another of the large half-body humanoids, dragging itself with its elastic arms, as witnessed. Okay, so now they're classifying not as short and not as long, but elastic. So it can stretch. It reveals the highway, then moves out of sight. So is it using, like, sticky hands, basically, to drag itself along? The team returns to the elevator and notes that a button has already been activated for floor 74. No one has approached the elevator, so the team agrees to travel to this floor. On the 74th floor, the door opens and reveals a waiting room, or area, to what appears to be a doctor's office. At the reception desk, there is a sign-in sheet with a series of names and dates. The dates on the sheet all carry the year 1953. A PC at the reception area is on and functioning at a user desktop. The background for the PC is a large set of praying hands with the word Faithful OS under them. On the desktop are a series of folders with years on them containing files that, when clicked using the center button on the mouse, open to a world viewer. All files appear to be appointment information. On the desk, oh my gosh, this one is so long. On the desk, a notepad titled "From the Desk of Dr. Borvisky, Blessed Purificationist." The door to the doctor area is sketched with the same name and the title, as well as a crucifix. Opening this door leads to a white, dust-free hallway that has 2 examination rooms and a key-coded door at the end. The examination rooms are unremarkable and typical of any doctor's office. All medicine cabinets are empty. A small amount of C4 is placed at the lock to the key-coded door, forcing the door open. The area it opens into is much larger. Thank you for the headpad jigs. The area it opens into is much larger than a receptionist area itself, and seems to contain a series of large containment capsules. There are a total of 6 of these capsules. 2 are broken, and a brownish amber material coats the floor coming from them. 1 is empty, and the last 3 have nude humans floating in them. Nice. With breathing masks. Attached to the front of these tubes are medical charts showing vital signs and conditions for symptoms. The chart explains in somewhat awkward English ailments that seem more like flaws of personality or character, or just incidents that have occurred with the patient. Control asks for a zoom of one of the patient's pages. On the chart, focusing, it reads Citizen Jennifer McZurka did suffer a lapse of the heart that did lead her to lay with her neighbor twice upon nights of her husband's departure from their home. Dang. She cheated on him twice every time he left home. Patients did submit herself into the Lord's and our hands for cleansing of mind and body. Prayer administered by High Father Uwalakan, and patient submitted to a 3-day period in the Lord's Tears to cleanse her system, then released in good spirits. The topmost page reads, Citizen Alberius Farfan struck out at a High Father's during a sermon, blaspheming that the Lord's tears did turn his daughter to be unright in mind and heart, thusly laying blame for her whorish activities at the feet of the High Father and his blessing. With no proof of these blasphemies, the forgiving judge and the punishing judge did agree that Alberius Farfan should bathe in the Lord's tears himself for a week, to be cleansed of mind and soul, thus to provide his daughter ways are fault or to prove his daughter's ways are fault of not the father's hands, and to give him peace of self. Subject 2 has been traveling quietly. There's like 3 more of these too, which is insane. Subject who has been traveling quietly with the escort team now panic. The camera pans to focus on him, and he is surrounded by entities similar to those witnessed in the first 2 tests. Escort team reports in that subject is having a panic attack, but control requests them to stand still and wait. Subject screams at the entities, which are denied exist by team commander, or who are denying. Starting, subject is alone at home in the corner. Control request the Control requests that one team member be dispatched to approach and recover the subject. The escort team member approaches the subject as ordered. On the video, the figures part to make way for the approaching member, who lifts subject to his feet and brings him out of the corner. Figures on the video are then seen closing ranks to close the path. Subject is lifted to his feet by an escorted through the figures that close their ranks, and the subject. Gosh, I need to get some coffee, honestly. They remain steadfastly staring at the subject no matter where he moves to. Control requests that the team return now. I'm not gonna lie, this one seems... This whole, like, I like the idea of it, but it just seems like it's talking about these random things that don't necessarily... Like, it's preying on their fears, and we get that. I don't know if you needed this much to explain that it's preying on fear and stuff like that. The entity turns its featureless head to look at the Escort team raises its head to the sky, then emits a bellowing sound. Team leader issues the order to move, heading for the spot marked by the wireless video receiver. The creature on the expressway extends an arm that stretches to the ground. Before the camera moves, all team members save one through an entry port. Subject moves through entry point and mirror turns to reflective surface. SCP-093 is dropped by subject who panics and tries to fight his way out of the room. Subject is terminated by team leader after he draws the field kit pistol. Team leader requests portal be reopened, but it takes several minutes to find someone who can hold SCP-093 and generate a similar color. When a matching color is displayed and applied to the mirror, the video receiver is visible, and all individuals report a horrific smell. Team leader moves through the entryway with control person blank. The uniform and possession of the escort team member who was left behind are present and recovered, but the member himself is nowhere to be seen, and does not respond to shouts. Member assumed KIA, and wireless receiver recovered. Control and escort return through the entry point, and mirror returns to reflective surface. Later review of the recovered camera shows escort member blank grasping as the air where entry point should be, and then turning to look at the oversized torso. A brown gel seems to drip off the creature as it moves, that disappears shortly after, being dislodged as it evaporates. Several shots are fired at the creature's face with the automatic weapon carried by Blink that land in the face of the creature, causing a spray of less viscous brown liquid to pour forth from the wounds. Screams obscenities as the face of the creature descends upon him, and the camera is pushed to the ground. Camera feed remains dark for approximately 65 seconds before light comes back, and the camera films the creature crawling back to the expressway and pulling itself onto it, and then crawling in the direction it was originally headed. Believed to have been absorbed by the creature and then perhaps digested, this may have been an example of how these unknown entities feed by direct contact with living materials. Furthermore, study is required to be avoided on this issue. Return ledger filed as blank. How long is this one? This one's significantly shorter. It's got a fair length to it, but it's significantly shorter. Okay, subjects no longer authorized for testing. Testing focuses have been shifted to data collection. After analyzing the articles brought back from the previous 3 tests to better understand the fate of the world accessed by SCP-093, and determine the safeguards or practices are required for our own better world. So wait, did they achieve like a utopia in that world and we're trying to replicate the steps to it? But it also has these giant torsos that are crawling on all, well, I say all fours, but they're still bipedal technically. They're just using their arms to do it. Interesting. Okay. Understand the fate of the world. Practices are required for our own analysis of the brown liquid on the clothing of the lost escort team member. Blank has been filed with other recovered articles. Dr. Blank has volunteered for this test, as out of the possible candidates, he was able to cause 9-3 to undergo a new color change. There is no evidence in Dr. Blank's background of any illegal or criminal behavior, nor of any physiological problems. When presented to the mirror, the view changed that of a cubicle office environment. For this test, Dr. Blank opted to use the wireless video system and forgo the pulley system return, stating he was confident he would be safe as none of the torso creatures have been witnessed within a building where the mirror's destination showed. Video feed commences after Dr. Blank was crossed the river. As with prior test, SCP's 9-3 current yellow tinges all video material. Camera flicks to life and pans across a series of plain white cubicle constructs. Approximately 30 are visible. At the end from the entry point is an office module built into the wall with frosted glass and a glass door. Approaching this door and investigate the etched writing on it. Senior Management Stanley Milimitz. Is that the name of the dude? No. Dr. Blank enters the office and examines the desk. A coffee cup is on the desk, a dark brown stain covering half of the inside as the liquid evaporated. There is a donut on a plate, which Dr. Blank picks up and lobs at the wall. On impact, it thumps like a rock and falls. A file cabinet in the corner of the room draws Dr. Blank's attention, and he goes through each shelf one at a time. stopping in the second drawer and taking a file, then going back to the first and then taking out 2 others. Continuing to the third and fourth drawers, he withdraws 4 additional files and spreads them across out on a desk. The files are blue filing folders, all he points with his fingers, and a camera at a symbol on each of praying hands, stating aloud for the camera that all these other files are stored in yellow folders. The files are blue filing folders, and he points with his finger, stating aloud for the camera that all the other files are stored in yellow folders. Oh, okay, all the other ones. I skipped that word. I'm skipping a lot of things. Camera attention is turned to the PC on the desk that is logged and functional. Dr. Blank comments aloud, wondering where these devices are getting power from, as he has noticed no power outlets. This PC's desktop contains the logo for Faithful OS, and even has sounds, clicks of the mouse, followed by soft hymn-like hums, and opening a few icons, followed by angelic bells. The PC fails to yield any useful information to Dr. Blank, who abandons it and leaves the facility. Again, someone take the hard drive. There might still be something on it. Approaching the other end of the office, Dr. Blank presses a button on the wall for the elevator and enters, finding he's on the 34th floor of a building having an unusual number scheme. The keypad goes from -115 to +115 and includes all floors. Is 115 a significant number in something? Before pressing the floor button, Dr. Blank requests that the wireless video responder be moved to the elevator and replaced with a construction cone to mark the entry point. A second transponder unit is placed outside the elevator. The control is instructed to recover the second unit and seal the test chamber from should something happen to him. Then all is arranged. He presses the button for the floor -115. The descent down the elevator is long, consuming 15 minutes. During this time, the camera experiences one malfunction where the images jerks and turns to snow, restoring to show 14 other figures in the elevator with Dr. Blank as video pans around, all of whom move as he moves to allow him space. They remain for 35 seconds, then the camera flickers to snow and returns. Dr. Blank is now alone in the elevator, dancing, as is assumed by the ducks and sways of the feed. So he just starts dancing, pauses to comment on a rising stench coming from below. At this point, the elevator has reached floor -108. Dr. Blank presses -110 to interrupt the descent down the exits when the floor is reached. The elevator doors open to an enclosed observation deck with several PCs and chairs. All PCs appear to have power. The ceiling is visible. Or the ceiling is to this desk is also visible. Approaching the monitor station and checks one of the PC screens. On the screen is the Faithful OS logo. I gotta know more about Faithful OS at this point. The first, it sounds like Temple OS, you know? Which is this crazy OS system made by this one guy who had delusions of grandeur. The first view is of a room of tubes similar to those found in Test Violet, which numbers in the thousands. The second... numbered. Which one? Violet was the first one, right? I think it's Violet Green then, or was it... No. I guess Violet was the first one, probably. The second view is closer up view of these tubes as a camera glides in front of each to monitor the contents. All tubes the camera passes by are broken. The third view is facing the opposite direction as a camera glides vertically, checking each observation station. A total of 10 can be counted, and Dr. Blank is visible as the camera passes by his own station. Looking up, a hovering camera unit with no visible means of protection glides up past him. The fourth view shows the ground floor below the observation deck, where a single astonishing large torso being is crawling in circles, bumping into walls and changing directions. From the... This is outside? No, this is from... Oh, wait, no. Which one? The fourth view. Where did you get the fourth view from? I guess it says 4 different toggles, so they probably set it up beforehand. Returning to attention to the contents of the PC, Doctor moves the video log aside to a simple text editor that was hidden behind it. A printout of this text was recovered and filed in the field kit. The printout directed by Dr. Blank to a safe on floor 54 and provided combination D blank. Leaves the observation deck and proceeds to 54 without event. Arriving on a cubicled floor, he proceeds to the desk mentioned in the document and finds a safe hidden beneath a desk, undisturbed. The combination provided opens the safe and reveals a notebook filled in the field kit. Oh my gosh. My model is freaking out because I'm not sitting at the right angle for it to really keep track of me, because I'm slouching, I'm not gonna lie. In addition to the 24 rounds of ammo found with, Dr. Blank proceeds to the elevator without event and returns to 34, given the sheer number of floors available to explore and the vital information obtained from the observation deck. The test is considered over and equipment is retrieved before returning through the entry point. Under 10 shows, it is... None of this seems pretty vital. So he has no guilt. He hasn't committed any murders, so nothing seems to happen to him, really? Yeah, he doesn't have anything to be murdered for. Oh gosh, why is it... What'd it do? Oh, it accidentally closed the thing. Dangerous to show history. Can I... Nope. No. 093, I guess. I guess we go back to where it was. God, it is getting hot in my room for some reason. I say as my door is closed. Yellow test was... Okay, and this is the last one, red test. So no one's died through this so far. Final test, disturbed amongst staff until a new color could be generated by contact with it, Service Technician Blank was able to take on a fierce red hue and glow, much brighter than the object's normal color. Agreed to assist with a test of 9-3 per Dr. Blank's request, given to Technician Blank for use in this test. When applied to the mirror for the first time, or for the test, 9-3 generates an unknown environment. No color tinge appears present on the displayed destination, which is composed of red stonework. Technician Blank enters the mirror and video capture begins. How old is this dude? Video flickers to life and Technician Blank, known hereafter as Subject, is viewing a large cylindrical pillar that is rotating on its own. Object is of unknown origin and height and appears to be 1.8 meters, 6 feet tall in width. Or 6.8 meters in width, okay. Holes are distributed throughout the object at seemingly random intervals. On occasion, a beam of white light is emitted from these holes. Turning of the camera finds that the beams are connected to a multitude of objects similar to 093 that are part of the room's wall. The room turns out to also be cylindrical in shape, with countless copies of 093. Subject turns back to entry point and finds it a section of wall that is missing its copy of SCP-093, presumably the one carried with Subject. Other sections of the wall on inspection and also found to be missing their copies, leading to speculation that this may be some sort of carnival array. The room was... Oh wait, no. No, I skipped. Where is it? That's my mouse being... My mouse is being captured. Making speculation, somebody finds a ladder on the floor while examining the control and proceeds down its control request. Ladder exits into a clean room full of computer equipment that appears antiquated compared to previously encountered equipment. Large computers running reel-to-reel are clicking and spinning at various locations. A light bulb of unknown meaning turns out for 10 seconds. Single words in 8 colors at roughly 5-second intervals, while observed the words clean, unclean, clean, clean, lost, unclean flash on the screen. The processing through the or proceeding through the room, ends in a large. God, I'm getting really tired. Outside the stack, what appears to be electric currents. 5 tubes at the observation window. A keyboard is present on the pedestal. The options available on the screen are tube status, which waits for a numerical input. Report situation 64549 and situation 64 or X550. Right. All subjects that generate text were transcribed by subject. The dog didn't bark? Is that the big thing? Proceeding through the window. Alright, well, I guess as that control lost contact with subject approximately 30 minutes after Department of Control Tech, or departure of Control Tech, subject was asked to remain in the area and observe the machinery and the containment room to make observations for debriefing. 9-3 mirror portal return. Time lapse of 1 minute and 48 seconds was recorded before the mirror portal reestablished itself and subject returned through the portal. Underwent sudden convulsions and medical staff was there. Subject, he displayed enhanced strength and used blank to shoot one of the debriefing staff, killing them. Guard shot. All staff evacuated. Okay, I feel all further SV-093. I feel like the things they need to send tanks in, it's not great. Staff with acceptable clearance. This is a story. Okay, these are the newspaper articles. Okay, this maybe shed enlightenment. Only one blue test could during our initial test, and the newspaper clipping found to the corporate. Most Holy Father announces progress, unclean being cleansed. A rare public address directly from the Most Holy Father of the United Lands of the Sun. Okay, so the US, but super religious. Has declared that the Blessed Militia has driven back many of the unclean who are skulking our lands now. New Rome, our capital, has been purged of the unclean. And citizens... Wait, okay, is there a Rome in the US? Rome, New York. So, Rome, New York, or Rome, Georgia. I'm gonna say New York. Rome, New York feels like it'd be the capital, right? So, Rome, New York is the capital of the United Lands of the Sun. Construction has begun on a system of permanently close the unfertile lands off from our blessed lands. In each affected area... Alright, let me check something real quick. Okay, no. Nothing. Let me close that out. The Blessed Militia has been developed new weapons which have proven capable of punishing the unclean and driving them back into the unfertile lands. Construction has begun system. The Most Holy requests that all citizens of our united lands bow in prayer and offer tithe to recognize the sacrifices of our Blessed Militia in these troubled times. Reports have been coming in that falsely accuse the Blessed Militia of having committed sin against the citizens whose homes they are inhabiting as they travel bravely through... Oh, what is that? Is that the Third Amendment? House No Soldiers. Yeah, that's the Third Amendment. Okay, so this is a world where the Third Amendment doesn't exist. I'm assuming, unless it does exist, and this is just like a... Well, it does exist, but we still gotta use it, you know? It may be one of those, in that case. Also, why is this? Wait. I need to make sure, because for some reason it privates stuff on YouTube that I don't intend it to private, and I don't know why it's... I don't know why it's doing that all the time. I need to make sure it stays, like, non-private. Or not non-private, but stays, you know, good. Reports have been coming in that falsely accuse the Blessed Militia of having committed sin against the sinner The Most Holy would like to remind people that blasphemy against any who wear his mark is the most grave of sin, and unfounded accusations will be punished accordingly. We should work to support he and his men, however possible, just as they lay down their lives for us, the sinful rebels who blank. Green test. Second test, many materials that helped to establish the sequence of events from this alternate world that I recovered provide a glimpse into the last days of the owners of the home from which it was recovered and may represent activity in other areas of the world as well. Farms surrounding the city of Silver Feathers have reported being unable to contact neighbors across voice or video feeds in the last week until an approval is granted by the regional High Father. An investigation cannot commence, but he assures the people that these events have not escaped his attention. Residents are advised to notify their local blessed voice daily so any further disappearances can be addressed immediately. I'm pretty sure it's just your town. Residents are also advised to begin stocking their shelters to be ready for any situation. Article 3. Following the disappearance of the Blessed Voices from several outlying regions around the city of the Silver Feathers, the regional High Father has declared a concern for safety. Oh, is that because of the suicide rate? Livelihood. Under this declaration, all farmland residents must evacuate immediately to their shelters. Scattered reports of unclean have come in, but have not to be verified. For the City of Glorious Song has stopped responding to any and all communications. The worst can be assumed, and our hearts go out to any who are in this region or unable to hear our words. The City of the Silver Feathers Blessed Militia has reported several incursions by the unclean in the city, and they could become a danger to any resident. The Regional High Father reminds the citizens to avoid direct confrontation with the unclean. Conventional arms do nothing. Only the most holy implements will penetrate their sin, so do not put yourself in danger. Any citizens who respect their neighbors, including Blessed Militia, through checkpoints. Yeah, okay, I already read that one. Diary. Why am I... I swear. I could read. I learned how to read at a very young age. I learned how to... Yeah, hey, Fallon, what's up? Dude, I am actually so tired right now. I don't know. It has been a long day. I'm not gonna lie. Work was stressful. How are you doing today, Fallon? Diary, I have the distinct feeling we're gonna die, so I'm gonna write this all down for whoever comes along and finds our bones. My name is Hervif Jelkulsiv, and I'm a farmer. It grows the rabbit sticks and huskers. We raise the inks and ooms. It's me, my wife Opharia, and our two little ones, Trevin and Listeria. Enjoying the start of my weekend? Yeah, likewise. I got this book in trade from the blessed man who came by for food and shelter. He told us not to start getting our shelter ready and not to let no other blessed who come be even. No, we're here. Says the whole thing breaks down. Nothing right no more. So I does as he said. Got it all ready. We done going there in the next day or so in the morning. He was gone and made the wife sad, as he was polite to us unlike most of the others. Figure he didn't want to be no birder. Liz went out looking for him, to be sure he weren't just round the house. He didn't turn up nowhere, so we guess he left. Strange enough, Liz found his clothes round a mile or so away, and all his gear, but no him. She left it all there, and that's for the best of what happened, that I think. I'm clearly no educated man, and don't claim to be, but I can put two and two together and tell you what things are bad out there. For everyone. And especially for us, 'cause it's coming way too close. Something you can smell it. The way it's hiding smells like a leg of meat that's been drawn for way too long and just won't go back into the dirt. Even the soil is rejecting them, I guess. Refusing to let them be buried to die. It came too fast, we weren't ready. The smell came in the night. Maybe we would have been finer, but the little ones were afraid, so we went to the shelter. Trevor was slow. He saw it, kept staring at it, ashamed. It ignored us until he Sorry. Ignored us until he screamed. When I was getting listen wish down in the shelter, I went to get him, but he was too fast. Oh, Trev. Okay, Trev. Got caught. Sorry, they're using like a lot of like. I'm definitely exaggerating the accent, but they're using a thick accent in some of their terminology, so I got a little confused. It ignored us until he screamed when I went to get him, but it was too late, and then its head. It came down on him, pressed over him. He tried to run for the stairs, tried to get us, but then in a blink he was gone. Yeah. He's gone and pulled it away. His clothes fell into the cellar like he vanished out of them. I got into the shelter, slammed the hatch, and locked it. I think it knows we're here now. It'll try to get in, take us too. No telling how long. We got plenty of food, though. I was wrong. The food was rotten. Something got into it. It just didn't notice. We're eating what we can. There's food, but not enough, and that thing ain't leaving. It's trying to find new ways in, smelt the smell coming from the life web plug in the wall. Something seeped through it, and we kept away. Got all hard like a rock and don't smell no more. Maybe the power in the plug finally let it die. I went up to peek. Cellar's fine. Trev's clothes still on the stairs. Peeked outside. We're not gonna make it. There were 10, 20, 30. Couldn't count. So many all going in a circle round the house, looking at it with those faceless faces. And the stink, oh, the stink. Went back into the cellar and locked the door. I don't want to see my family rot away. I think is faster is better. Then Miss she agrees. We won't tell Liz. She'll be first. Then my wife, my love. Then me. I'm sorry, but I'm not sorry. I gave the best life to my family. It was the holy ones that what brought this. I'm gonna pen this in my memory to my great pap. He was old and no stories older than himself. Says those unclean they preach about, those unfertile zones they stay out. All cause of the most holy bringing the world together. Interesting. Then things are the ultimate sin. Everything about us that was evil and impure, it's them. They don't know nothing, but doing what they do, don't even know what they do it. They just do it, take us into them, and then we're gone. Asked Pap what they were like, and he lit a stick, took a puff, and he said, "Don't know, nobody knows. Nobody will admit it. But if you see this symbol, if you see it, you run, boy. You run faster, you run far, and you hide. And you never go back where you saw it." That's all I know. I remember the symbol. I was on the rock. Next day, Pap was gone, somewhere to be found. Dad weren't sad. Said he knew it'd happen one day. Pap went home. See you soon, Dad. Pap. Symbol matched. Symbol found on SCP-093 surface as one of the deeper engravings. Also matches symbols noticed on the...
Ever since I've had the COVID vaccine, my milk tickles when it gets cold. Can you explain that?
Your milk tickles? I don't know how to explain that. You got the bovid? Gloss, when did you get the bovid? I didn't know that. The third test with 093 resulted in the unfortunate loss of a security member, but also allowed us to recover a ledger with insightful into the medical procedures carried out. Strange cycles, age, and her aging cycle was the victim of. So she went into a range. Okay, wait. Is this going to explain how they're made? Okay. She is prone to violent outbursts and can only be calmed down by impure stimulation. Because of this, she actively seeks out strangers to mingle with, and her parents have requested of the... During the preparation for the tears, subject went into a rage, and then attending hand went to recover a sedative. Jennifer tore her clothes off and screamed impure words at me, so I locked the door and instructed the hand to wait outside. I am half shameful to admit I laid with Jennifer a total of 7 times before putting her to the tears. Listen, she's crazy. And yeah, I was her doctor. But I hit it 7 times, and then I sought medical treatment for it. It has been very long for me, and her parents have abandoned her to our care. So care for her I will. Oh my gosh. Before setting her to the tears, I authorized a blessed probe of her body functions and found she is settled. Now with young and test confirm, it shall be mine. Oh, and you got her pregnant. Great. I have mixed her bath to accommodate this, and she will soak in the tears until her body is ready to give life. Patient none, tube 02. Patient Alberius Farfin, 80% tears, 20% nutrient. Weird stomach combination. Rowan, I can't fix her, but the typical doctors. He confronted the High Fathers of the city and demanded compensation retribution for the loss. The High Fathers denied the existence of unclean beyond the infertile lands, refused compensation of retribution. Aberius struck at High Father and was arrested and sentenced to the cleansing of the soul. His mixture is primarily tears to seep into the soul and cleanse his heart and ease his pain. The lawkeeper says his family is indeed. What is tears? It's a drug? I used the last of HFT on Jennifer. Oh, I would have used less tears in this bath. 80% is higher than I'm comfortable with, but the HFT is becoming hard to obtain. O2 75, remember the Blessed Nisha who was wounded. In combat, request is from high. Oh, are these the three... What is it called? Not Toxic Avengers, but the three... I'm so forgetful. They mentioned that there were 3 injured parties, if I recall. Okay, so they're all... For test E93 reads with documentation assumed to be written by a technician in either a medical vault. Do not trust the Overwatchers. I feel something was wrong with the weapon in it. It is under those used by my Blessed Militia. To me, he says they are not what they claim. Okay. My name is Herval. I'm a hard systems watcher here. My mother is monitor of the sinful. Yo, is that SCP? It is SCP. What's up? You're being told. I'm just skimming through this right now. This one, oh god, this one has been so long. It's... Oh my gosh, it's too much information. It's too much information where it stops getting interesting. Doing pretty well. It's good. Yeah, I'm doing good. I'm tired as hell. I'm not gonna lie. I may stop and just get some coffee real quick. I liked it starting out. Then it got really long, and then it kept going. So it was like at A tier, maybe? A tier, high B tier. It moved down to very low. You sound a little bit tired. Yeah, I'm a little bit tired. Did my work, you know, did my job, as it were. And I should get a rest. Okay, we're gonna put this one in. I'm gonna say mid B tier. We've only done 2 today, is the crazy thing. We've only done these 2 today. And this one was semi-short. It was fine. This one was super long. And that's prevented. Okay, I'm gonna... Do I have a thing? Let me see. Oh, it's in white, that's why. Let me move it so it's visible down here. And break. Let me get some coffee real quick. I will be back in, like, just a second. Give me like 5 minutes. If you have any suggestions for SCPs, let me know. And I will come back and read them, probably.
This message is brought to you by Apple Card. Get 3% daily cash back when you buy an iPhone with your Apple Card at Apple. Subject to credit approval. Apple Card issued by Goldman Sachs Bank USA, Salt Lake City branch. Terms and more at applecard.com.
It's JCPenney's Really Big Deals and comedian Bonnie McFarlane.
I've been thinking a lot about bags. I'm the dreaded bag in a bag in a bag lady. I put another bag inside of that.
This weekend, buy one bag, get one free. Yes, JCPenney. Limited time specials excluded from coupons. Ends 11/2.
Hopefully it is not audible. I turned my fan on because I am actually dying in the heat, and maybe that's affecting it. But yeah, thank you. Thank you for the welcome back. Yeah, it is unfortunate. I think 9.3 started off really good. It just got really long, and the explanation started. I'm like, what does this have to do with the actual? And it's like, it's these unclean ones, but it's not actually these unclean ones because they don't know 100% what they are. And this is just the perspective of the religion itself. Like, it's not like they're actual unholy ones. It's just these weird creatures that absorb you. And then it has something to do with guilt, but like, it doesn't make any sense, I think. It makes sense, but it just stops becoming like good at a point. So that's why it's gonna be low B tier. Do I want to move it lower? The more I'm like talking about it, the more I'm like, like the beginning part is good. It's just after that, it's not. I'll keep it where it is. Okay, so what do we want to do now? Which one is next? I did get some coffee as well. I don't know if that's gonna fix it for me, but we'll try to survive on coffee as it is. I can finally highlight this one. See, the classic ones haven't been hitting for me. I find. Which is a little sad. Let me see. None of the classic ones have hit S tier. Actually, no, wait, is this one? This one's a classic one, isn't it? Which one's the stairs? 087? I think 087 actually is. Yeah, 087, never mind. 087 hit S tier. I think that one's cool. The infinite staircase.
Did any of the other ones? I like nightclub scenario as well. I kind of want to do a palette cleanser with a Dr. Wondertainment one. We'll do 1124? 1124. Uh, 1124. Where is it? The Xenoplague. I'm sorry, is this a Dr. Wondertainment thing? See, here's the thing. I didn't want to spoil stuff for myself, so I had like a list. Wondertainment is always fun. I don't think this is Wondertainment, is it? I'm quickly skimming looking for the words Wondertainment to see if it's like... I don't think this is Wondertainment. Okay. I quickly asked for like a list of possible things. I'm curious about this one, so we'll put it in the background, but did I click the wrong one? No, oh, 1224. Yep, there we go. That's why. That's why, because I can't read. Wondertainment has... There's a reason. For some reason, the snails have remained in S tier. Nothing has topped the dragon snails for me, in terms of I love them. Control F instead of skimming silly. You know what? Yeah, you're right. Yeah, that's true, that's true. I still recognized it wasn't there, though. I would have seen the word. Okay. SCP-1224 this time. It's safe. Special containment procedures. All acquired instances of SCP-1224 must be contained in separate blast chambers. Oh, wait. I forgot. 1224. That's a joke one. Wait, did I already do 1224? I didn't do 1224, did I? That's the image? I did? Wait, I did. Is that 1224 Chem Kit? Oh my gosh, no, I did. I put it in C tier, I guess. Was it that it was just a... Oh yeah, it was basically just a really weird... Dang it, okay. I forgot to, I guess, mark that one off the list. Or it repeated to the list. Alright, I guess we're not doing 1224. I was like, it looked familiar. 445 then. We'll see if that one's good. Of which I now have to go to... Gosh darn it. 445... Dr. Wondertainment Super Paper. Okay, there we go. This is a new one. This one I definitely have not seen. Oh gosh, so that is... This is way too zoomed in. There we go. Object Class Safe. Special Containment Procedures. Access to and testing of SCP-445 must be approved by staff with Level 2 security clearance or higher, and each request must include a list of tests to be carried out. Any testing must be done with the accomplishment of no less than 2 guards for the entirety of testing. Any deviation from the pre-approved list of tests will... They have pre-approved test. Oh, wait, okay. The pre-approved test whenever you bring it to them. I was like, if they already have the test in mind, they already have the answers. I'm done. Will result in immediate termination of testing and a severe reprimand. Addendum, as of 6/20/445, is to be kept permanently separated from all samples of 445 Alpha. Right, that's Alpha, I think. As described in Isolation Protocol IP-445-1. The access and testing regulations given above for SCP-445 apply equally to SCP-445 Alpha. For more details, see document 445-01. Description: 445 consists of 3 stacks of white 11x17 paper. Each individual leaf has the text Dr. Wondertainment Super Paper stamped on the bottom left corner, which in its natural state 445 cannot be torn or burned. Water has no adverse effect on it, and glue or tape will not stick to 445. Observation of 445 has found that its fibers are much denser than normal paper fibers at 3,000 kilograms per millimeter cubed. Right? Cubed? Yeah, that's cubed. And a micro layer of an unidentifiable substance is coated on each individual fiber.
When SCP-445 is folded into representation of an object, SCP-445 takes on the qualities of the object in question. While in its folded state, SCP-445 can only be unfolded into its original state by the person who originally folded it. Okay, so once it's folded, you can't unfold it unless you're the actual individual. SCP-445 can also be rolled, and it will stick to itself if slight pressure is applied. Drawing on 445 does not produce any unusual effects, with the exception of any details illustrated for folded/rolled objects. Okay, so if you like make parts of a car and then you actually draw that, you would get better things. A variant of 445 designated 445 Alpha was created on 0620 via exposure of SCP-445 to examples of 073. Remind me what 073 is? Have I seen 073? Is that the lizard? What is SCP-073? Useful paper, very useful paper. SCP-073. I feel like I've seen 073 before. It's a guy that apparently people are simping for. Interesting. This fan art is getting me a little worried that the more I scroll. Kane. Oh, his name's Kane? Okay. Huh, unexpected. Interesting. Okay, back to 445. Physically, Alpha is almost identical to 445, the only difference being a slightly reddish tint to 445 Alpha. However, SCP-445 Alpha behaves differently to 445 when folded. See document 44501. Addendum. Dr. Blank testing log. Folded into a paper tube. When observed through one of the open ends, 445 acted as a hand telescope, enhancing the view of objects within a 25 feet distance. That's a terrible telescope. But I'm assuming... Is there... Okay, no, they're not. A Christmas tree remained stable when stood upright. When the green red lights were drawn onto the tree, they lit up despite the lack of a physical light source. Okay, so they'll enhance things. Oh wait, no, they were drawn onto the tree. Okay, so they lit up. A small knife became very sturdy and sharp, giving several researchers paper cuts when attempting to hold it, able to hold its own against actual metal weaponry. A conical paper tube acted as a megaphone amplifier. When a volume controller was drawn onto the side, the folder was able to change the volume of the megaphone. Paper cup became very rigid. This is cool. Able to hold extremely hot or volatile liquids without any sign of tearing or melting. The paper crane became animate, much like SCP-368. Okay, another one for us to look at. Recommend research into a possible connection between the two. A paper boat hat, when placed in water, became self-propelling at speeds of up to 60 kilometers an hour. Oh my god, that is a fast paper boat. When inverted and placed on its head, the subject's physical attractiveness was greatly... Oh, okay, whenever he wore it as a hat, was greatly increased in the eye of viewers. When both were performed simultaneously, both effects were achieved, with subject reportedly as looking dead sexy while scooting around the water upside down. Oh my god. A crumpled wad of paper, data expunged, leaving three D-class personnel dead. Testing session ended. I'm sorry, they crumbled it and people died? Origami copy of 682. Animated halfway through folding process, causing Dr. G considerable injury. Testing session ended. Let's try that again. Dr. G. 682? Oh, 682 is the unkillable lizard. Interesting. So it came to life? Ironically, 682 is one of the few in C tier, along with the little girl that accompanies him. The little girl is only good because it has this cute connection to the lizard. That's the only thing. The mimetic hazard one is stupid, I think. There was an Among Us one, and the doorknob joke one. The medkit. And I don't remember what this one was, but I remember I didn't like it. It was in C tier. Which, if it's a mimetic hazard one, it's funny that I can't remember it and I can't find it at all. So, it works either way. Blank has requested permission to test samples of SCP-445 in conjunction to 085. He has also requested permission to expose samples of 445 to 073 to determine whether SCP-073's ability to destroy ordinary paper by touch extends to 445. What you're saying is it's affecting you. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, it's funny if it's like a mimetic hazard where it's like, if you look at it, you forget what it is. And I'm like, if it works, it's kind of funny. But I'm like, I've looked it up. I can't remember what it did. Okay. Let's see. So 44501. Approval for testing 445 in conjunction with 073 granted. 073 is placed in a room with one sheet of 445 and instructed to touch the paper. 445 sample exhibits no loss of structural integrity upon contact with 073. I love mimetic stuff. There's some good ones. The OG one, I did not like at all. I think it was contradictory and really stupid for a... Because it's like, if you look at it, you forget it, da-da-da, and all that. And it's like, okay, but people wrote about it, so they remember what it is. And so I'm like, yeah, that doesn't make any sense. Like, a great example is, I think that's 093 or something. What is it? 2521. 2521 is the best mimetic one, I think, so far we've seen. I say that, I think what's it called? The Bigfoot ones are technically a mimetic hazard as well. But this is the best they're doing, I think. Where it's like, you cannot draw, like, you cannot read this, technically. You can't talk about it. You can't, like, discuss anything, it'll go through stuff. You just have to, like, do all this. And this is just how it works. And I'm like, this is really cool. I remember, what is it? Screw Chaos is the one who recommended this one to me. And I was like, this is really fun. I just think they're fun, unless it's the big eel. That thing scares me. That's sick, yeah. Because it's like, here's an image of it. You can't talk about it, you can't write anything, you can't save any information about it. So that's why its name, like, it's 2521 officially, but it doesn't have a designation, really. It's a Keter class. You know, it has, like, tendril-like arms, they're sticky to the touch, it can't be contained, seemingly, and it'll exit if anyone talks about it, but doesn't care if there's any signs about it. Yeah, if you write, like, its name, if you're given names, you write about it, it'll hug the thing. If you talk about it, it'll take you. And I'm like, this is dope. This is a really cool idea. It's the best of the mimetics, I think. The Bigfoot one is the big twist one, which I think is cool. And it's not bad, but that one as a hazard, I think, is the best one. Okay, so 073 modified 4-5 samples, designated 4-5 alpha. Dr. Blank recommends further investigation of physical and chemical composition of 445. 445 alpha resulted in... That's on break text is still there. Oh, is it? Whoops, my bad. Thank you for that, sir. One sheet of 445 introduced to 445 alpha sample begins exhibiting visible coloration consistent with 445 alpha within 90 seconds of initial contact. After approximately 600 seconds of contact, introduced sample of 445 is physically indistinguishable from 445 alpha. Formal isolation protocol 44501 established to prevent cross-contamination between 445 and 445 alpha. Interesting. So it's not like anything bad happens when they come in contact with each other, they just change into the other. A sheets of 445 introduced to 445 alpha. Conversion occurs as before, bringing total numbers of 445 alpha sheets to 10, and Doctor begins testing on 445 alpha. Following the experimental protocol utilized on 1015 by Dr. Blankengy. In paper 2, when observed through one of the open ends, acted as a hand telescope enhancing views of 25 distance. However, a subject using the telescope reports that objects viewed through it seemed somehow off. When asked to elaborate, subject was unable to
specify any specific visual issue, noted that only that objects viewed through the telescope appeared sinister. Interesting. A Christmas tree remained stable when stood upright. When green and red lights were drawn on the tree, they lit up despite the lack of physical camera. Its results identical. So that happened the same thing. Small knife became very sturdy and sharp, causing small injuries to all subjects who attempted to pick it up. Ultimately severing Subject D's right index finger at the proximal interphalangeal joint. Eventually, subject using a reinforced glove was able to unfold SCP-445 Alpha sample into its original neutral shape. A conical paper tube acted as a microphone, though amplified only the folder's voice. The amplified voice was subject to significant distortion, exhibiting what was described as demonic growl by observers. Though, in all cases, the speaker's voice was still identifiable. When a volume control was drawn onto it, the folder was able to change the volume. Okay, so that was fine, other than the demonic voice. Paper cup became very rigid, able to hold extremely hot volatile liquids without any sign of tearing or melting. However, samples of water added to the cup became opaque and dark red in color. Within 15 seconds of contact, chemical analysis of the resulting fluid revealed it to contain large quantities of human hemoglobin and other blood proteins. No other liquid added to the cup exhibited this change, including water-based solutions in concentrations higher than 50 millimeters. Or millimeters? No, I think that's wrong, but what is mm? Mm in volume, I guess. Or mm in volume? Is it millimeters? Maybe it's cubic meters? I don't know. Or cubic millimeters? Millicubic meters? I don't know. Folded into a paper crane. Became animate, much like 368. Sample displayed aggressive and territorial behavior, repeatedly dive-bombing researchers and attacking with its beak and wings, causing minor injuries. After being caught and killed by crushing the paper crane, Sample was able to be unfolded into its original neutral shape. Paper boat, when placed in water, became self-propelling, repeated attempting to ram nearby subjects and even propelling itself out of the water to do so. When inverted and placed on head, subjects began to act erratically, threatening researchers and security personnel with violence. Subject terminated. In light of these results, Dr. elects to suspend further testing on SCP-445 Alpha. SCP-073 declines to comment when questioned on these findings. In light of these findings, I would like to formally request that SCP-445 be reclassified as a Euclid class object. So, okay, the original one is safe. It's good, honestly. I think there's a lot of cool things they could theoretically do with it. Like, that's a crazy thing. I think it'd be really fun, like, with stories and stuff like that. I think one of the things, like, with Water Girl, which was one of my favorite ones, where she's slowly dying because she's allergic to water and all that. I think this could have been a really fun way of, like, I wanted to see, like, the ocean or, like, my favorite animal or something again, and the doctor, like, folds it for her. That one has a huge, like, story potential with other SCPs in conjunction. God, I miss reading. I need another sad one. I know there's, what is it? There Be Dragons, or Here There Be Dragons, or something like that. Or Was Dragons. And I haven't read that one technically, but I know enough about it where I don't feel too sad about it. Like, I feel like it's a sad story, but it's not like, oh my god, this is like lump in my throat kind of thing. Like, Water Girl was lump in my throat, and so was, oh god, what was the other one? 1958, the van one. This one was like a lump in my throat the entire time. It was so good. Honestly, it was really good. Unbelievably good, that one. Okay. Paper. It's great. It's A-tier material, I think. For story potential, I want to put it above these guys. The wormhole. I think it's great. I think as a potential story tool, it's phenomenal. And again, it's Wondertainment. You can't really go wrong with Dr. Wondertainment most of the time. I guess with the exception of the bag so far. is the one exception I found with that. Like, the B tier is still B tier, but it's not, like, terrible. It's a bouncing ball that bounces forever. It's basic, that's it. The chem kit is basically a chem kit, but a super chem kit. This is really cool as, like, conceptually, I think. And it's always fun, like, paper magic and stories and stuff like that. So I think there's an element that really likes that for me. Let's go 073 now. Okay. Oh god, that one, there's an art there that is not quite appropriate. I like this image. We'll do this image. Okay. SCP-073 is to be kept in a two-room cell furnished with all non-organic furniture and items and a bathroom. Subject is allowed to freely wander the facility and eat in the main canteen. A tracking device has been attached to SCP-073's person and is not to be removed. Subject is disallowed from any contact with the surface and is not allowed outside the facility. Subject is allowed no contact with plant-based SCPs under any circumstances. Violence is not to be used against 073 under any circumstances. 073 is currently kept in Site-17. 073 appears to be a heavily tanned man of Arabic and Middle Eastern descent in his early 30s, 185 centimeters, 6'1", tall, and 165 pounds, with black hair and blue eyes. Arm, legs, spinal cord, and shoulder blades of the subject appear to have been replaced with artificial limbs, or versions of unknown make and metal. Subject only takes notice of this when it is pointed out and states that it has no knowledge of how, why, or even when these replacements took place, stating it had been them, or had them as long as it could remember. There is a symbol engraved into the forehead of the subject, which appears to be of Sumerian origin. A symbol has of yet been untranslated, and subject appears distressed when the symbol is mentioned at all, refusing to speak on it. Subject does not need to eat and drink on a regular basis, but is strictly carnivorous owing to its effect on plant-based items. 073, who refers to itself as Cain, is generally polite and genial to all who speak to it. Although it has been described as being cold and somewhat mechanical in its speech, it is very helpful and enjoys aiding personnel in their daily actions. Whatever they may be, it has highly detailed knowledge of ancient to recent events in history and most commonly spoken languages in the world, including ones that have since died out. Subject has been professed to have photographic memory, remembering word for word all text in an 800-page dictionary that was flicked through in a minute and a half. It has scored above average in all intelligence tests given to it. 073's presence is intimical to any and all life grown in soil. Intimical? What is that? Or inimical? What does that word mean? Tending to obstruct or harm. Okay, so just deadly, basically. To any and all life grown in soil, causing death to such life within a 20-meter radius. Jeez, any land SCP-073 has walked on, and any earth within a 20-meter radius becomes barren, and all anaerobic bacteria dies, rendering the soil incapable of supporting life until new bacteria are introduced. Anything that is derived from soil-grown life, such as wood and paper, immediately rots and disintegrates upon touch. 073 further affected derivatives include anything hydroponically grown. Sorry, drinking coffee. Violence directed towards 073 reflects any damage inflicted on 073 directly back onto the attacker. Although 073 remains unharmed, this applies to any damage directed at 073. Attempts to get tissue and blood samples have proven futile. When the procedure was initiated, personnel carrying out felt the sensation of whatever was applied to 073 and wound up with all samples of their own blood or tissue, despite the fact that all actions were directed solely at SCP-073. Indirect damage through a medium also results in the person perpetuating the action receiving the wounds caused. Okay, so if, like, you bump into him, you feel like you're bumped into him twice? Although 073 receives no actual harm from damage to its person, it has stated it still feels the pain of the action, and has politely asked researchers to abstain from overly harmful actions to its person. Additional notes, 073 was found in the New York Police Department in 19 blank, having... I'm sorry, this thing was found just sitting in the police department. Had been found the bodies of several violent gang members. SCP-073 told members that the gang had attempted to make sport of it, but became angry and attempted to kill 073, resulting in their own demise. 073 has incarcerated and was deemed a John Doe when NYPD could not find any information on it. NYPD came to the attention of the Foundation through a routine inspection of John Does and was subsequently released into our custody. Interesting. Okay, examination of the identified metal has its beryllium bronze, a metal that has been documented as being utilized by various anomalous cultures and entities. Most notably, beryllium bronze is found at 121, 1427, 248, 1, and 2711. Have I seen any of those? Does not. 2148? No, 2481. 1427. 1437. And 1216. No. What are these? Safe. God, every time you look into one, it gives you like 5 others to look at. I'm sorry. I read the last little like bit over there. Did that say Pyongyang? I'm sorry, North Korea? This is a North Korean SCP? What? Yeah. Mr. President, yeah. Listen, I don't mean anything by this. Go out with it, man. The North Koreans have got an SCP on their hands. By God. You're telling me the little rocket man got his hands on an SCP? Yes, Mr. President. Nuke North Korea. Do it now. Okay, in light of this discovery, the Foundation began working in an attempt to trace the origin of beryllium bronze and how it initially spread throughout the world. When prompted, SCP-073 was able to provide information that suggests that beryllium bronze originated in the Middle East. Good take, great choice. Listen, if North Korea gets an SCP, imagine the terror of, like, Kim Jong-un being like, hey, I have this one SCP. Wonder what happens if I use it. Like, I threaten South Korea. Like, that's crazy, dude. I don't know. Okay, so I like writing stories and all that. And so one of the things I'm writing, and I occasionally write and revisit, and at least I write stuff and like concepts in my head, is superheroes. And one of them is called The Heart, which is like the hero, evildoer, and anti-hero recovery team. And it's an idea of like, hey, IRL, heroes would get really like, really governmental real fast. Like the whole take on The Boys where they're like, what if the government controlled superheroes? And I'm like, they would do that immediately. What do you mean? It's not a question. There would be laws immediately. Like the fact that they don't have laws on what Homelander and them can do, I'm like, that's crazy. So they would so for the whole story idea is, hey, this would become a big thing in the government, is my current take on it and writing about it. Heroes would be very much political. It'd be much more political than Solo Leveling. Oh my gosh. Solo Leveling is so dumb. I read, like, people were like, oh, gassing it up, and they're like, I love Solo Leveling. Like, it's so good. And I got bored. I really, like, I was like, when does it get good? Because, like, the first part's fine. I like the first part. Up till he starts getting his, like, rise ability. Where it's like, oh, it's cool. He gets, like, these summons. But then it gets, like, oh, he gets these summons. Does anything ever challenge him? No. He keeps winning. He's the best of the best. I'm like, okay, where's the challenge for him? Where's my struggle? No. He just wins every fight. Like, there's
these new beings that are god level, yeah, he's already surpassed them by like 30 times already. It's like, oh my god, it's like, what's the point of rooting for anything else? Because like they'll introduce these other like super mega crazy, like, yeah, this guy's a S, like, I don't remember the ranking in it, but they're S class, they're world class or something. There's only like 5 of them, and then it gets taken out in like a panel, and I'm like, all right, so then why do I care about anything now? Like, anyone who's like, we're lower level than, I can't remember his name, Jung Si-hung or whatever it is. It's like, okay, so then none of you ever matter at that point, right? Yeah, I'm an S-class hero. Cool. All right, you're less than world, so any challenge that they're gonna throw out that he has to deal with is gonna be less than you. The writing is secondary. I like it because the fights are animated great. I read the webtoon. That was I was reading the webtoon whenever I did it, and the art's good. The art's good for the webtoon. It just gets to the point where it's like, you guys really need like to make him struggle a little. Like, the best part of it was seeing him train and like get better. I can't imagine the comic being great. It's not that. It's like the first 100 or so chapters are great. After that, it starts getting like, I'm waiting for him to struggle. Like like waiting for him to be so cocky, and then like something starts beating him, and he's like, I didn't expect this. This is crazy, but it didn't happen. It never happened, and I got really annoyed. That I was like, oh my god, I'm done. So I never finished that. And then I started, what's it called? Tower of God. In Tower of God, I was like, it's alright. It's not great. 100 chapters is good. That's a good amount of good chapters. Yeah, it's a solid amount of good chapters. But how many chapters are in Tower of God is just now? It never explains what it wants to do and its power system, and it just kind of assumes that you already know how it works. And it kind of gets aggravating. How many chapters? Solo leveling. There are 179. Never mind. So it's less than 179. Or when did, okay, what, let me see, where does it get to? It maybe, no, is it this one? It may be whenever it's here that I start getting a little more, what's the word, disappointed with it. Is it this one? No, it's not the bears one. Where is it? Did I catch up? Maybe 108. So maybe it was 100. So half of the series I think is decent. But after that it gets really irksome and boring. I haven't been catching up reading a lot of manga, and manhwa is kind of lower on my list right now. I need another good one. I finished, there's one called Astro Baby that just finished and it was really good. Let me see, what is the current manga I'm reading right now? And that was pretty good. I think it had a rush up with its final chapters before it ended, which was a little annoying and sad, because it was good. I liked it. It just kind of like had to speed up. Let me see. So there's Dandadan. I'm watching it. It's really good. Or I'm reading it. I haven't watched it. I like the animation, and I like the people who animate it. I've been reading I read the manga, so I'm caught up with that. Dawn is amazing, yeah. I haven't finished it. Chojin X. Latest chapters have been meh. It does feel like it rushed a lot.
even though the guy has enough time apparently to do all of it, I feel like it rushed at certain points. Spy X Family, Soy X Family, Spy X Family. Spy X Family is good. It's decent. To me, Yor is not a good match for Light, Twilight. If you haven't watched Dawn, I would suggest watching it, even if you've read it. Yeah, for me, it's part of like though it's I just don't like not reliving, but like they're going over material again, kind of like that. Bug Ego. Bug Ego is a manga. If you have not read it, I would highly recommend it. The artist, I'm pretty sure, is the one who does One Punch Man, the actual well-drawn Punch Man, not the original authors, and it's really good. It's very slow to come out because the art in it is just gorgeous. I would highly recommend it. Lloyd is perfect. Yor is... We love her because she's useless. I mean, so much so that whenever he finds out she's an assassin, he's going to... Like, the way his morals work is like, I don't want anyone to die kind of thing. And hers is like, maybe killing people is bad, but it's justified sometimes. And it's like, okay, cool. You guys don't match at all. I'm rooting for, what's her name? Oh gosh, not Twilight, Twilight... Spy X Family, what's her name? Is it Twilight? What's her name? What's the other girl? White hair. I'm rooting for Frost. Yeah. She's infinitely better. Infinitely better than Yor. I just want her to take over. I want them to go on a date. She seems so much better. She's so much better than Yor. I hate how different it is. Let's see. What are other good ones I read? I'm looking through what I've currently read. Golden Kamuy. Golden Kamuy is good. I read the manga for it. I don't know, reading the manga is faster. The ending... Again, it's the endings that always get you, where it's like, either it's really good or satisfying, or it's meh, but you're like, yeah, but I appreciated the journey. Like, the journey to that point was great. The ending, meh. I don't know. I still haven't finished Undead Unluck. That's the other one I haven't finished. Is there any other one I need to reread Chainsaw Man. I fell behind on that one and just haven't. Undead Unluck is so good. I think, what was the last thing? Are you watching the anime? Because I don't want to spoil it. I need to read Unin. What is Unin? Undead Unluck. I'm assuming you're watching it. What is the current season on? What is happening in the current season of the anime? Because I don't think it is at all what is happening. It's nowhere near the point to where I can, if I say something, it's going to spoil a big thing about it. I don't think. I was watching, but I know what happens in the manga, which is crazy. The time travel thing. They handle it pretty well, surprisingly. It's not that bad of a twist. I didn't hate it. I kind of liked it. It was a lot, but I kind of liked it. Why the heck is God trying to do all that? I don't know. The God in that universe is just pissy for some reason. Oh. I've read Hell's Paradise. Hell's Paradise is satisfying all the way through. It's a really solid character story. All the characters are cool for the most part, except like the handful who aren't, obviously. If they explained it, I forgot. I think they just hate the world is kind of what they did. Or it's like a battle between one of them. This Paradise is so solid. When will the next season come out? I do not know. See, I watched the first season. I watched the entirety of the first season. I was like, okay, I want to know what happens. So I finished it. I read through it. And so that's why... See, the thing with watching anime for me is I will watch the anime, I will get impatient, and then I'll just read the manga. And that's where I've been for a while. What is it? Record of Ragnarok. I don't want to... Please don't show me the anime. Let me shoot. Record of Ragnarok, Jack the Ripper. Where's the good pose for him? My favorite pose for him. There's this one. This one is such a goated, like, panel. I need to reread this series. If I wasn't illiterate, I'd do that too. He's such a cool character in this. It's Jack the Ripper versus Hercules. It is a phenomenal fight. It's so good. Where's God? Is the London Bridge? Can I get the London Bridge? Where's the pose? Because he poses before the Tower of Ben, or Big Ben. There's this one, which is great. Oh god, why is it? I just wanted the image. It's such a cool character. What is the current fights at? I would highly recommend reading this. Don't watch the manga if you're gonna watch or like do Record of Ragnarok. I would read the manga. It's infinitely better than whatever slop they put on for the let me see, Record of Ragnarok. Let me get a gif of it. Like, you see that gorgeous art, right? Like all this like beautiful art of him, and then you see what they did with the animation. The animation is from a team of yaoi animators, which, you know, you do you, but like look at this art. Like, you see the art, you see how good it looks, and then you see like how terrible this looks if it was just the fights. It is just fights. Record of Ragnarok is just the fights, pretty much. There's the like little backstories that they do in between the fights, but... And I don't mind those so much, but... It's such a bad... God, is this the... The anime was way too much backstory. The backstory in the manga is much better. But, like, it looks so bad. But you see the art of, like, the manga. You see this. See, what the... Oh, right, it's Sumo. I forgot about that. You see all this gorgeous art of the characters, like Hercules, like that. And it's just... I skipped one episode and didn't notice because the fight was in the same place. Yeah. No, they'll dedicate like an entire chapter or two to telling a backstory of it, and it's fine. The backstory is probably much better handled in the manga, I will say. That's the one thing. It always gets... I don't know, we always dive into manga and anime talk at some point. But there's some... It's gorgeous. This whole thing is gorgeous. Zeus being as weird as he is always freaky. Like, this weird form of Zeus, which does not make any sense whatsoever. Like, why does this guy look like this? Carver Weeb official. Oh my gosh. It's true, it's true. It's better Baki. Well, we'll do. It's a much cooler concept of Baki. Again, such a great panel. I need to finish this. Kane before I can end. Because my voice is getting a little raspy and my throat is starting to be a little wheezy. So, in light of SCP-073's indestructible nature, photographic memory, and general will to please, High Command have deemed that all information is to be backed up on SCP-073, ensuring it is not lost in the event of a catastrophe. While the action has met with mixed responses, 073 has agreed and sworn itself to secrecy on its part. Okay, so he'll just keep information on himself? Interesting. I'm gonna go on a run. Good luck, sir. No worries. Thank you so much for stopping by, sir, and talking. I do appreciate it. When the information concerning Section 6 was brought to the attention of 073 for backing up, subject showed familiarity with the information, although was disinclined to adding to it, despite the fact that it stated that it already knew all about SCP-076. It then stated it would be better for all parties involved that it not meet 076. Is 076 able? Is that what we're looking at? Kill corridor. It's a stone cube. Project Able. Okay, so it's known for Project Able or something. But, Kane. I know I definitely was not 100% in on his thing. It's fine. It's an SCP who exists. He kind of works with them, kind of helps people out. That's nice. Any plant life he touches destroyed. The fact that he walks around the facility is nice, but it's not going to do him much favor. I put him on the same level as Bouncing Ball, really, in which it's a thing that does a thing. He has photographic memory, and he's probably existed since the beginning of time. Yeah, it's a B tier. It's a mid B tier. I don't hate the idea, but I think that's where I'm going to end it for today. I will probably be live tomorrow. Let's see. Do we want to raid is the question, or do we just want to call it here? I think we'll just call it here. Alright, I do appreciate y'all stopping by and hanging out. Yeah, I should do more SCP research unit. I feel like making this grow like to an infinite amount and just being huge. And it's gotten pretty big already. The fact that I have to recreate it every time is getting a little annoying, I'm not gonna lie. But it should be fine. Yeah. But otherwise, thank you guys for hanging out and stopping by. I do appreciate it. We'll be live tomorrow with something, probably Daemon X Machina. I do need to finish that game. Or, well, play more of that. But anyway, yeah, I'll see you next time. Garver, out.